Welcome back in. A couple hours left in this pretty exciting afternoon as we head towards the beginning of the major tech earnings to come after the close tonight. Both Google and Microsoft set to kick things off. We get Meta tomorrow, then Amazon and Apple to come on Friday. Positive day. We'll talk about Twitter, obviously, trying to hold on to gains here on a bit of a pullback. Tesla also holding up very, very well, worth noting. You would think that this move in Twitter to the upside might cause a little bit of a downtick in Tesla. Not the case. Here's how things are shaping up right now. As I mentioned, 2 hours to go here on a pretty positive day. 1.2 for the S&P 500, 0.6 for the Dow, 1.5 for the NASDAQ, leading the way as it has done all day long. It's been about tech shares to kick things off this morning and right through to where we stand right now. 0.8 for the TSX. Look at these moves. Yeah. Where did that come from? 10% at one point for Ethereum, almost 4 there for Bitcoin currently to the upside. Crypto back to the upside. Dare we say it? 20,000 on Bitcoin right now. Pretty impressive. There's the tech sector right now. Tech stocks as a whole leading the way. If you dive into this group, it's actually the semiconductors down here having the best day. Some of the clean energy related names, 5.5% for SEDG. There's AMD, there's Enphase, there's NVIDIA as well, all 4.5% to about 5%. PayPal on a big day, 6.5% on that. Amazon news this morning. Healthcare stocks nicely strong outside of CVS, the lone or among the lone to the downside. Banks in pretty good shape. Individual banks and diversified. It's the insurance companies struggling today. They've been the red spot on this board all day long. BRO with earnings dragging the rest of the group to the downside. Consumer discretionary, then material stocks, industrials, communication, and utilities. Goes on and on and on. Very, very positive. That is the S&P 500. We'll talk a lot about some tech stocks, obviously, coming up here in the next couple of hours. If you missed it, again, earnings to come from Google and Microsoft to kick things off after the close tonight. Looks like this Twitter deal is going to get done on Friday. We could possibly, there's indications suggesting we could have a big IPO to trade tomorrow as well. So tomorrow going to be a really fun day. Hope your day today is going well. Let's jump right into a bit of a look at what we were discussing in the pre-market. Ton of opportunities, lots of earnings talked about this morning. Make sure you're joining us every single day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Smash the like, guys, and make sure you subscribe. Let's have a look at one of Neil's trades to get things going today.
Welcome. Trade of the Day is always brought to you by Day Trade. We'll get your trading journey started the right way. Check that QR code below. And in a snap, Snapchat has gone absolutely ballistic since its earnings. We all remember what happened. Look, it absolutely cratered. And sometimes when you see a monstrous gap to the downside, a lot of times if it does not break any lower, you get these nice little relief rallies. So we came into this thing, and I got my 15-minute chart up here. You came into this as it made a double bottom, rallied to the top, and I'm just looking at that high. We're talking about this 850 failed break on the close show, where it got to about 856 and 860 definitely held up. So I had that one marked off to be sure. And then from there, some psychological levels, $9 and then $9.50. So when you come in the morning, if it worked shorting the 850 level yesterday and the earnings were bad, my first thought is going to be, hey, let's just go back to the level that works fantastically, and that's that 850 short. So we do pop. I'm going to show you right off of the open here. There is the pop into 50. Grab that short on the way back into the downside. Looks like, hey, everything's going to be perfectly solid. Take a couple legs out. It gets down in the 30 range. Could be trending downside here, but no, it ends up putting in that higher low. And for me, at this point, it's a double top on the morning range. But you got to also remember that it's this double top here. And that's what turns it into a reverse into that long side of the trade, because you've got a double bottom, you're making higher lows, you just put in a double top on the opening range and a higher low on the shorter time frame as well. So we're thinking jailbreak, long breakout trade, scalping heavily out in that first 870 up to 875, and then holding on to that last quarter for the next level. Well, you know I'm going to take a shot at this short. When you're talking about a $9, $10 stock here, if it gets to $9, I'm going to want that rollover. I said I was covering in front of 9 if it got there. I did hold on to the last little portion, giving it that chance. When it failed at 890, I got out. Probably should have shorted at that moment. when it got to, I think it was like 893 or 894. That was probably that best chance to get a bit of a retracement. It never followed through. When I eventually get the short off a 9, it just doesn't last very long. But then we're doing the same thing we did before. You got that $9 level, and it's tricky to see here, but on the way down, there was a little bit of an opportunity in the aftermarket where it tried to bounce into that $9 area, but it's also psychological. So same plan as before. The short doesn't work at that level. The trend is to the upside. It's a nice top consolidation break. You're long 9 again. Now, when it's already moving like this, I'm shotgun getting more shares out early in the day when there's a better chance that it could have that reversal flush, because that's what the open does. At this time of day, once you get into lunchtime, it's not showing any signs of slowing down. So it initially scalps them out, then it's like, hang on to it. Gets them out the top end of the range. But if it holds that top, no shotgun here. Just wait for it to get that next 10 cents. If it holds that high here, wait for it to get up to that 950 range. The trend is a little bit stronger, and you want to be far more patient when it comes into lunchtime. Now, I could have held this for 950 and maybe got an extra 7 or 8 cents out of it, but I was thinking short at 950. And the only reason I'm not short this thing is the market pulled back. The overall market dipped. Lots of shorts came in. I mean, there were plenty of opportunities out there. I was shorting some Netflix while this was happening. I know Sean had some great shorts in Microsoft. But this decided it wanted to make a run at the high of the day again. And when I see that happen, I was already out of the long. No need to jump into the short, but I did short 850. I shorted 9, very tight stops, reversals at those prices, but no short at that 950 level for me. Kind of learned my lesson there. Always a chance it rejects, fails, and traps some longs at 950. But I'm just happy that we're able to play the key levels with an open mind to jumping back into the long. Even if I wanted, everything about me wanted to be short those big even dollar levels, but we're able to play the trend here on Snapchat today. Big move to the upside, but in context, it's just trying to fill that gap that we saw in there. And that's what you got to look for sometimes. As always, Trade of the Day brought to you by Day Trade the World.
A bit of a tale of two stories today, depending on what you're looking at. Things like Snapchat, a few other individual names that have been beaten down over the past year or so. Big moves back to the upside, but if you look at some of the other bigger names, not really doing anything ahead of what is to come later in the week. A lot of it, though, guys, on that this morning. Make sure you grab that every single day. More than 30,000 getting that right in their inbox every single morning. Make sure you're one of those. Use the QR code. You can hit that link. All you have to do is enter your email address, pick up the morning watch list. So this is happening right now for Bitcoin. We'll talk about that coming up here. But testing, at least the highs currently, back to 20,150 on this random break back to the upside. I was mentioning this morning, if you joined us, the consolidation getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter on a daily chart for Bitcoin. So finally, it looks to be resolving at least back to the upside. ETH as well, ETH, an even bigger move back to the upside. I was reading a few people talking about some shorts getting blown out on Ethereum. Let's talk about this as well. Obviously, everyone's well aware at this point. So it was Bloomberg that comes out to talk about the deal getting done by Friday. And that was all surrounding this. Elon's lawyers, I guess, sending notification to the banks saying, get ready, it's happening, coming up on Friday. So a big move, guys, for Twitter to the upside. There is the actual report from Bloomberg. It's notable here. We'll talk about Tesla as well. But notable how strong Tesla is actually holding up. A lot of people were assuming that it would require Tesla to maybe make a move to the downside.
Oh,
I only have 7 positions right now.
7 positions is a lot of positions. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's a lot.
That's some Prad stuff right there. Prad has a lot of positions.
There's one major difference, but
no, yeah, I know. Look, I said one thing about Twitter yesterday, that there'd be an opportunity this week to essentially sit when it consolidates and just go stop order long. Like, so essentially I don't have the trade, so I'm an idiot. But when it was doing this in the afternoon, 52.40 into 52.30, on the off chance we ever see a situation like this again, it's worth noting. All you do is you sit with a stop order on the chance that you get positive news that would firm the deal up a little bit, and then you're just taking the break. Whatever it happens, you don't care. And the second you're in it, you slap your stop at the bottom end of the range there. And if it is a firm of the deal, it didn't go to 54, but it goes to 53. Now, I didn't have that because, sometimes you say things and you just don't go ahead and do them. Completely ridiculous, because you're not going to see an opportunity like this again where it was giving that much of a spread opportunity. Now, I think it's just a long in front of 570. That's a previous high, maybe of a technical pullback. This is more of an art play. It was rightfully pointed out in our chat that yes, he intends on doing the deal, and yes, the financing might be even secured and done. But there were those concerns, or well, you can call them valid if you want, but I guess it was the administration and some lawmakers and regulators talking about Elon's personal dealings and then maybe holding up the deal for that, because it's going private. You can't claim antitrust on this because there's no monopoly issues here. But they can take aim at Elon on a personal level and some of his dealings. Tesla being, of course, needing Chinese sales to push their revenues higher. And that's about the only thing I can see why this deal wouldn't close. So it's a non-zero chance that it does still not close. That's why it's not trading at 53.80 or 54. I'm going to be long as we're above that 52.70 in VWAP. I don't think we'll see 54, but there's definitely scalp trades to be had, and we'll be in and out of Twitter every opportunity we get off these bids.
Oh, man. Yeah, you caught me on a good day here today. We were just, what are we talking about? Twitter? Yeah, okay. So, I mean, Neil just did some talk there about it. I'm still long. We're actually long the same price there, 83. So this looks like it's going to be a good little trade for us to the downside. We'll see how far we have to wind up holding this. But I just got some out there, 53. So we are in and out a bit. We're not even going to, I mean, look, if this rips up, we'll make a decent amount of money on it. But for right now, I think it is just going to be that scalp trade. It does look like Elon's going to settle this out and pay the piper 54.20. That sucks, man, because I think and he thinks that it's worth a hell of a lot less than that, but he sort of dug the hole, so now he kind of has to live with it. So, yeah, that's what that is right now. I have a bunch of shorts on, man. Amazon short just put on right now against 120.30. That's starting to go to that. Look at this short that I had earlier. This Amazon short, 120.90. All the way to the downside. That was a good short as well. Microsoft getting near a reload session. We've been really shorting this one throughout. And then we flipped over to the long on Google, but this was a great short. Look at that out that we have all the way down there. So lots to cover right now. I don't know. Is Twitter going to break above 53? I think it should. I think it should probably get to 53.20 or so. If it's going to close in 2 days, that's $1 left on the table in case there's some outside risk. That kind of makes sense to me. So we'll see what happens with the Twitter deal. But right now, just dancing around here at 53. We're long 17 cents in the money, but it's just like Neil said, just kind of going to be an arbitrage scalping situation here.
On Moderna here, guys, to the downside. There's a report actually suggesting Pfizer's booster offers no short-term superiority. So both right now, mRNA, big move down, and PFE on the COVID front. So heads up on those two. As I was showing you earlier, Tesla not only having a pretty impressive day, but holding up here as we head into the final couple of hours, even on this Twitter news. Guys, does this mean maybe he doesn't have to sell to get this done?
Well, that's the thing. We're not sure if he has to sell to get it done. There's definitely a decent chance that that's true. And he already sold twice. Elon Musk already sold twice here, and Tesla's been an absolute rocket ship. I think the price action is kind of telling me that it might not be the case. That being said, the market came off the highs. It rejected 225 on Tesla. I was so close to 225. I said I'd be patient. I'm kicking myself. I had a lot of good longs this morning. None of them were Tesla. I had the 15 short. You'll see like two triangles basically on top of each other. I had the 220, two triangles on top of each other. I should have had it the first time when it gave you the win, and then I miss out on 225. But I'd rather miss trying to catch a top on a strong stock than get absolutely run over, which could have happened. Maybe 221 here looks a little bit interesting. But because of that risk that maybe he does have to still sell some shares to get that deal closed, that could give you some cover here. But that 221 already held once. If it holds again and the market doesn't break highs, I like that on Twitter. Sorry, Tesla. I might make that mistake several times here today because I'm actually trading Twitter, or hopefully trading a little bit more Twitter for once, and Tesla Twitter. They're intertwined, at least. You know what? We get to stop talking about it after Friday.
Do we?
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think
once
it'll
it's
be gone.
private, we don't have to talk about.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
No,
yeah.
like the stock. I mean, Twitter is Twitter. We'll talk about.
I just feel like we'll still screw up Twitter and Tesla, like for
I
pretty
will.
much
Yeah,
for the rest of eternity. I would assume at some point there. I just took another piece out on Twitter because it did break a little bit below, so I got some 96 there, I believe. I just wanted to watch it. I'm not going to talk too much Tesla. I will in a second. I just have too many more positions. So right now, just an update. As I mean, my eyes are going everywhere right now, but waiting to see what happens here with Twitter. Just took another piece out, so I just want to give everybody that quick little update there on Twitter. So I will talk about Tesla, but as you can see, man, I have Google, Amazon, Coke, everything ready to rock and roll here. So let's go. We just got a bad wick on something as well. Oh, we just got a bad wick on Amazon there getting out. Okay, yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that I'm dealing with right now. On to the next, guys.
Let's go to Coke on watch this morning, on the watch list this morning. Coming off a pretty impressive earnings report right across the board. They also raised their guidance going forward. We did fill the gap back to the downside initially, but look at this, trying to get right back to highs here, guys, for KO.
Yeah, this was a case of it worked initially for me, and then when it came back in on Coke, I just had way too many things that were stronger, in my opinion, and I got out of this one, probably not believing in it enough. When it finally broke that 58 level, I did have a couple of longs in front. I got one bounce into VWAP and then reloaded in front of 58 and gave it up. And sometimes you're going to do that. It was trending to the downside at that moment. NVIDIA was breaking out. I preferred that. TCL and Snapchat were breaking out. I preferred those. Apple was breaking out. I preferred that as well. So, you know, every once in a while you'll make that decision, and then the one you give up on ends up being pretty solid. It goes that buck after all. Still not really breaking out the highs of the day. But it's worth keeping in mind on Coke. That 60, like, it's not breaking highs. If it did get to 60, that is the 50-period moving average. So even if it does break out these tops, it in theory could have some overhead resistance at that 60 level. It just felt like there were an unreal amount of fantastic longs, and I was pretty much long the entire morning. But this one is the one that I gave up on at that bottom, and certainly it would have also worked out. You almost couldn't go wrong with a lot of these longs.
No, and we are still, that's why we hit that alarm, we are still in the long right now for Coke. So we still have 20% of this position, and look at it go, 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 go. Nice little movement to the upside. We talked about defending that 58 level. That's exactly what it came down into, right? So this is another sticky note name right there. So we're pretty proud of that one, and there it is to the nice upside 59. Probably worth taking a piece out now, but there goes Coke. We're $1.08 now in the money to the upside for that. Just defending that 58 level. It pulled back, guys, right into where we were yesterday. I feel like that's going to sort of be the solution for me on these names, right? Is just like wait for yesterday's pullback level and then just buy it on these earnings. So we'll see if that can come true moving forward now, but that's a nice little trade for Coke. Right back into where we were in the pre-market. So just have to take down 59. We'll get out if it breaks this 50 period. That's what we're waiting for. So 58.80 and we're out of Coke, but a good trade there off the bottom. You know, earnings plays are still good plays, guys.
Meme stocks having a pretty good day, guys. Just seeing Bed Bath & Beyond popping back up once again on some decent volume. This, however, is not a meme stock. This is Bitcoin back to the upside as well. I showed you this to kick things off this afternoon. That's 20,000 that we broke through and are comfortably holding above. Let's go back out to a daily chart, though, just real quick to show you a little bit of perspective here. I was mentioning this morning, tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter on this consolidation. It's trying here to get back to the upside and break this higher, maybe, but I don't know if we can actually say this is broken as of yet, but this does mean that all of these are also going along with it. Big day for, I mean, pick one. Anything crypto related going to be up about this much.
Yeah, like Coinbase is holding above 10% to the upside. Pretty crazy. It got to 74 here. And this was, I think, the real chance to have gotten into this. And like I said, there was a lot of really good long opportunities. This should have been in there. That $70 level, it broke out in the morning off of 66 and then held 70 all throughout like 10 to 11 o'clock. So whether you're looking at consolidation long, sometimes it's really just that consolidation breakout. Like Snapchat did a similar thing there. That was another one to look at. But this 74, when you look at the daily chart, you have the 50-period moving average, and then you've had all these spikes into the 74 level. Like this is, look, there's almost no chance, unless something ridiculous is happening through the high Bitcoin and ETH at the top here. I got to be short this level, and I know Trader Pratt had this, and I'm definitely going to be all over that one. I have to go to this because it's not actually on our watch list. You just mentioned the meme stocks watch list, the rundown. You just mentioned the meme stocks, and I was a bit late to this, but very similarly, the second someone pointed out, actually was Luca. Luca was talking about how crazy Bed Bath & Beyond was going, and then when you get the chance to zoom out and see a level like this 550. I mean, give me a break. It goes right up to 550, tries to break out, it fails it. The only mistake I made was at this point when it failed that break and came back down, it held at 540, and I was like, I'll just take a little bit out here because I felt like that point it was going to run the stops, and I wanted to get some out so that if it ran the stops up at 560, I could get more in. It turns out that little out, taking a piece off, that ended up being the lower high, and we flushed into VWAP. I'm still holding a piece because I thought if we took out 5, you could be at 470, and it's trying to go off VWAP here. But that was a pretty solid one where you just zoomed out and looked for it. And that 74 is about the same thing for me on Coinbase.
All right, I'm going to be completely happy. We're going to hit this because there is a new trade that I just put on. I'm completely fine if this takes out 250. We already hit Microsoft pretty nicely to the downside. We didn't cover anything down there, which sucked. But we do have a position now. Well, we did cover, but we do have a new position right now at 249.85. So let's see here what we're going to get from Microsoft, possibly making that move down. But this is what I'm talking about. Look at this Meta long. Meta came right back in here, down to a level that we liked, 135, and we hit that long. So right now we're $1.50 right now in the money for Meta. So this one is definitely raining down some cash right now. For me, Meta, Coke, Google long, Amazon long, Roblox long right there as well. Roblox went all the way to 45.80. Wow, okay. But yeah, a lot of these names starting to bump higher now. So watch out for Microsoft, as we are going to get out when it does take 250. But we just made a lot of money back after getting absolutely destroyed right here going short. Like by far my worst net on a stock this month is just right here. Happened in the first 15 minutes for Microsoft. Just thought it was going to be short against that 248.50. Didn't happen. Ripped all the way to the upside. Now we gained some money back after being patient, because patience pays here in this game. So we'll wait for that one to come through. It looks like it is going to take 250. I'd think about going long 250. I just want to see things settle down a little bit here before I get too crazy, because I already have a lot of these longs. So even if this breaks, this will be a 15-cent hit, but we're ripping to the north side. I mean, we just put on this Google trade right here long through 103.50. So now we're letting this one work after another good short. So yeah, the market today is a game of patience, I feel like. Wait for key levels and you're all good.
Covered Microsoft and Google there. So coming up, obviously, after the close tonight, we get started with the biggest of the big guys, Microsoft and Google tonight, and then Meta tomorrow, and Apple and Amazon on Thursday. So tons to look forward to.
Yeah, look, Microsoft's at that 250. It's a double top right now. The market's getting right to those highs. I liked Apple for that break yesterday. I don't know how much I like the long break on Microsoft. It feels like it could be a bit of a trap. I know going into those earnings, people are expecting some pretty solid things there. It's not a ton of size. About 50,000 shares is sitting on the offer of this. And if we're already through the high, actually, I'm looking at the ES. The ES is so it's the S&P 500 futures. That's about 2 handles away. There goes that 200
and
break.
There it goes.
250 break. There it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a little piece. I don't know how convinced I am that this can go like 51, 52, but if it's scalpable into that 250-50 range, I got to clean up some of these wicks so you can get a better look at this. Then Microsoft into these earnings. We've seen these rallies before, but I'm just doubtful you can see an overextension, to go $2 or $3 or anything like that in front of earnings, quite frankly. I think 50 cents is fantastic. I think $1 would be great if we can get it on this. I mean, you juxtapose that with Apple, which is essentially been doing the same thing, but Apple, you're going to have to wait around for them, and maybe that has a chance as well. Like, Apple's going really slowly off the high of the day. It's the reason the market's not really breaking out, because you have so many names that are at that resistance level. Apple was great in the morning off of the 150, but now it's kind of falling asleep here at 152, and if we don't get dragged up by the Apples of the world, by the Amazons of the world, by the Googles of the world, look where Amazon is. It's making lower highs, as a matter of fact. you know, it's actually holding below that top. It's going to be difficult for breakouts to happen when some of the big names are off that resistance. That's why I was kind of reluctant, even with that Microsoft break. One last one to get to, because we didn't really talk about the chips. Also off of the highs here, NVIDIA's up 5%. This is off of the top. This was another one of those breakout trades that was super strong in the morning and then couldn't seem to get through these afternoon highs. So that's what's going to have to get cleared for some of these to continue to the upside. And speaking of upside, yeah, of course, I'm short coin. I just got into some coin there, Coinbase, in front of that 74 level. It's too big of a level, and if you did miss it out, this is what it looks like on the daily chart, your 50 period, your key resistance, and then the last couple of times it's gotten up here, it's rejected it. This is, look, if it takes this out, this is obvious. Well, I don't want to say it's obviously, but how many times are you going to test the level before you finally follow through? This time it's consolidating instead of running and rejecting at the open. So if we do break 74, I am reversing long on Coinbase.
All right, yeah, I like all that talk right there. We did get back. Well, we went into a long off of that move, but we waited a little bit. We got a long, not a lot. We waited 97s there on a dip buy for Microsoft. It did come back in a little bit. We got taken out of our short, no problem. And again, it didn't really run that high. So we'll give this about 20 cents to the downside. It only went about 10 cents upside there. So Microsoft, we're going to give it a little bit of love. And we can get out for flat. If you don't like this position up through 250, I'm not in love with this trade. So it's already kind of broken, as you can see. And then the futures right now are trying to tick near the top. They're at 11,700 right now. So that's already failed once for the NASDAQ. So yeah, this is a little bit of a nerve, raking, I don't know what that terminology is.
Nerve-wracking?
Wrecking, yeah, that makes sense.
It's wrecking.
Spot. So I just don't know what we're gonna do. We have like about a half position here on it. I'm gonna give it about 20 cents to the downside. If it breaks, it breaks. But we did take advantage of that. I wanted to make sure that we got out of Google at the same, not out of it, but took some out of Google. So we did that right here in the 70s because I didn't want the futures to rip up there and then we get taken out of our Microsoft, but that don't capture profit on a name like Google here. So that's what we're still watching. Let's just see, man. Microsoft right now, see now it's into the 80s, not good, man. All we had to do was hold that break, but we didn't want to hold any kind of a break in this market. So nice little upside move for Microsoft, taken out at 250. Should have just respected that a little bit more and given it a little bit more. That high wick right there is 10s. So it's not even like it was doing much. It only went 10 cents. That should have been the first sign that maybe it was going to pull back. But we've seen this before, man. Pull back, make lows like this, and then continue to make the move higher. So we'll see on this. I'm not super pleased with this trade, though. So my bad. I don't really want to be long this name. Just trying to be long for the shot of an upside move. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I'd put the odds at like less than 50-50 right now.
That being said, if the market goes from here, you got to figure it should fall. To me, it's almost a little telling. Like I had, there goes coin through through 210. Sorry, 74, 210. Why would I think 210? What am I looking at that's 210? But it doesn't matter. Coinbase through that 74. I did reverse into the long. What I was getting at with Microsoft, I didn't even have a stop order. Like I wasn't stop order long on this thing because I was like, do I like it? Do I not like it? It might not go that far, but let's see if it can scalp it. But it's actually holding the top end pretty well. But I punched in manually, and really, sometimes that's a little bit telling. If I obviously love something, then I'm just going to have that stop order, and then no matter what happens, if it breaks out, I'm taking it. I knew it was going to be a reverse. I did try the short there. That's the thing on Coinbase. Like if you short it the first time through, you might give it a tick or a few ticks, or if you had it the last couple of weeks off this level. But clean after it makes that double top. Want the market to go up with the exception of Bed Bath & Beyond at this point. And I forgot to mention I am in CCL still. I'm no longer in the 8:30 break from this morning. We like that level from yesterday. Remember, we're waiting for 8:30 to break all afternoon. Had the order in, never went. It went this morning. I did get it all out when it rejected about 850. Like that 850 level got a rejection. And then it got up to 860 or 870 up there. And I reloaded off of VWAP once, missed it the second time, and I'll start getting out on the way up to the high of the day. So I am still in some CCL to that long side. And if you're watching Tesla, they don't think that Elon has to sell. It's going up with the rest of the market, so relatively strong. It shoot through that 221. If I see 225 again, I'd probably take a shot shorting. Market trying to turn shy of the high of the day. So if we can't get through the high of the day, the stock I like for relative weakness and have since about lunchtime is Netflix. Netflix rolled over at 293 as the market was trying to hold up and break higher. Netflix rolled through VWAP, and I grabbed that short 93 into 90. Well, we're not even back into 93. We're actually holding the opening, so the morning range of about 292 is now resistance. It was support. Actually went long it as well off that support, and now it's resistance. So if we're gonna fail on the futures, I like Netflix short. It's up 3%, but the trend has been downside since it rejected 300. Love relative weakness and strength.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in and out here of these positions. I just want to cancel everything. Microsoft did wind up, I told you it was about 50%, and it looks like it was the other 50%. So there's the downside move right there. So we got out. That's okay. Microsoft, again, my worst stock today, and continues to be that way. And there it is right there. We tried to go long, but we went long 97, out 80s, or 79. So we actually got 79. So out on the 79 break there for Microsoft. So again, probably trading it with too many shares, not being able to hold it, but that's what I'm going to do anyways. I'm not really gonna change it up, but that one was nervous. Told you about that, a little nervous Nancy on that play right there. Okay, Amazon. So we got out. We went long, we went short, remember, out, out, out. Then we went long when it broke. We actually got a good fill up there at 47. Now we just got out of them all. I want to regroup on Amazon. I don't really want to be like married to a position there on that stock. So let's sort of regroup on that. I was looking at Meta. Meta is just a monster Meta, the monster mash right here. It's just, oh, by the way, today I'm going, hey, Fahad, today I'm going to see Scotty Barnes. So I'm my wife got invited to a Subway event. So Scotty Barnes is going to be hosting that. So I'll get an autograph for you. And I'll tell him that you're looking for some
Tell him to keep that ankle healthy.
for some gym space there. Well, I mean, look, Fahad's a little bit older than a rookie, but he probably could be rookie of the year if he went into the NBA. So I'm going to try to get some advice there from Scotty, and then I'm going to report back to you, my friend, about that one. So look out. Hopefully I'll be able to grab a picture with him. My kids pretty excited as well for that one. Yeah, all right. So let's just regroup. My out for Twitter. Ooh, almost out. This was almost out. Like as soon as we broke that 50 period, I was going over here to Coke to say, hey, where is the out on Coke? Right there, but that was the out, and it didn't fill. So, darn it, we did get out of that Amazon, and now you're starting to go back up to the high side here for AMZN. Let's take another shot here. Quickly, we'll get an 84. Did I just get there? 85s? I got 85 right there on Softy. So let's see. We lost a little bit. Let's see if we can make a dime back or more on this one, as now it's maybe trying to go back up to the upside. So there it is. We'll try to make a little bit back here after losing about, what was I long at? 97, out 80s. So there it is. We'll make back 10 cents now and see if it can continue to climb. Give me some 99s there if we can. 98s. One more fill up. Are we still? Yeah, we're still watching that one. Give me some 99s if we can get upside there. We just punched right back. Give it to us. There it is. Yes, sir. So finally there. Bought back into Softy and made a little bit of money on this market strength, guys.
Yeah, I just got into that short on Netflix. Going to test that 92 area here. I never want to stop on Netflix when it's got a 10-cent range right at the even. So I'll give it about like just over that 10 at 92s to give it a chance. And of course, Coinbase. Right? Like, you can't beat them, join them. Just like Snapchat, it breaks the high. It already goes to 74.5. Actually got pretty close to 75, so 74, 71. You know, obviously out of the corner of my eye, I will be watching. We're still actually making highs on Bitcoin, but out of the corner of my eye, I do have my Binance chart up there, so it's not like I'm going to be trading this blind. If we do continue that churn higher, no reason why coin at this point couldn't also continue this breakout. Like, it's a pretty significant level. If it starts holding above, if it gets past 75 and holds that, I mean, who knows? Up 12% and certainly could go a lot higher than that, the way the stock sometimes will squeeze or get squoze to the upside. Speaking of squeezes, squoze, I will be kicking myself over the Weber thing because like the logic of why this ran higher in the morning is about as obvious as it gets. Company that owns 89% of stock that has at least, I mean, they own 89% of the stock. You go to float check, it says this thing is short more than that 10%, which obviously is Fugaze. But at the same time, they're not selling their shares, and they want to take the rest of it at 625. Well, clearly that's a pretty good long off of that 625 level. It squeezes up, and now it's making a bit of a base. But I don't think there's a trade there. I think you had to take your shot on that a heck of a lot earlier. I'm just kicking myself for not putting in. Twitter is not doing anything, which is ridiculous. Maybe we're not going to get those dip buys.
I just sold some.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps, every time it goes up to 53, it's like, well, if that's all you can get, you should just take it. And if it's not going to break, I'm going to do the same thing. All you're getting is 90s, like 95, 96 is your best out. So if that's all it's going to give you, 15, 20 cents, and you take it, and if it bounces back down, you do that again. Microsoft just bounced off of the 60 level. So it's shown it once. The market's back at the highs. This time I will buy the dip. My stop is right beneath this 60, pretty clean. I'll take some at 70 if it wants to hold. The market's right back at the high of the day, so maybe it has a chance to go. I kind of wish I had something other than just Coinbase and Microsoft to the long side. Twitter doesn't count, not in my books anyways. And CCL, at this time of day, like, it's not exactly screaming here. Like, it's made its move. It's slowly rising off of VWAP, but you know, kind of like what NEO does, like, it's kind of like watching paint dry a little bit here. So it is working. I'm not going to be complaining about it too much, but decent move here on CCL. But I don't think I'll get a chance at VWAP again, unfortunately. And there goes Netflix. So if the longs are going to start working and continue to churn up, then that Netflix is going to break. It took out 292.10. I don't want to be holding this all the way back to the original short that I had earlier at 93s. I'd rather have a tight stop and then focus on the long trade, which are definitely working.
I am like just bullish. I'm most worried about Meta. We've already talked about that as far as like which name I think has the hardest road to profitability based on obviously their earnings reports coming through here as we get ready for, as we said, I said Super Bowl earlier, but I guess more appropriate to have the World Series of earnings coming through right now. So
it is baseball season.
Yeah, it is baseball season, so we'll stick with that. But wow, Meta just absolutely exploding to the upside. Now $2 in the money on this name. This is, if there's ever a long I want to go for, it's pretty much always Meta. So you know, watch out for that. I do like that trade, and I think it's going to be a good one moving forward. So let's just continue on that thought here for Meta. Again, a nice little trade pumping through, and I don't really have any targets to get out of that one. Microsoft, I've already said this. I sort of think that it's my bad, of course, because we're responsible for all the trades that I take. But for this one, I feel like I was just way too short thought, you know, for Microsoft here today. And, you know, now it has a chance to go back up to the upside. So let's see if we can't get that move. I mean, that's all now. Just been sitting here watching this happen. I don't know if it's going to be a trade or not, but we'll keep trying it here with Microsoft back up to the upside. And again, I see that 60 level. We've gotten lighter. We just got some out here at 250. So we have gotten lighter and can now afford to make a little bit more damage here on this name. So we'll see if it can come through Microsoft. But again, I don't want to hold this for very long. If we break through 75, I'm going to get out. I know Neil's trying to wait for a little bit lower than that, but to each their own. I've gotten hit today on Microsoft, so I'm going to wait to see if that takes 250 one more time. And that's about it, man. That Coke held up. Google now is 50 cents in the money, so alert on that one, as we're pretty proud of our trading there on Google as well. Nice upside move right there.
And one from this morning, Brendan pointing out, actually, it did show up on my Trade Ideas scanner as well. Tisha, well, it's not Tisha. It's TSHA, although, I mean, with that name, I'm going to call it that. My cousin is named that, too. That's probably why I like it. But they had a new investment into a gene therapy being developed, and look, it just broke out at 250 or just above that 250 level on pretty decent volume, which you guys can't see. There you go. On pretty decent volume, nice little volume spike, not what you saw in the morning or right at noontime, but still pretty decent volume on that break. I'm going to like this to that 250 in terms of buying in front of to continue this potential breakout. When you go to the higher time frame, I mean, you got the 50 period standing out there just about 280. You do have previous support around that $3 level, and it's now clean on the break. So there's nothing really standing, obviously, in its way till that $2.80 to $3 range, which does mean I'm going to favor the opportunity to grab some longs in here. So first thing at first, I want to buy a little bit of a dip. If I can get it at that 55, 56 range, fair enough. I might actually start it at like 61s. And then if it breaks below 250, I would just be out of it. So okay, 62s, whatever, it's a penny. And then I'm going to get more shares down at about that 55 range and give it to 250. $2.80 to $3 would be the target on TSHA. Yeah, I should probably know the name of the company. But Tisha, if you hear me say Tisha, this is what I'm talking about.
All right, it's Taysha.
Is it Taysha?
Yeah, it's Taysha Gene Therapies.
Well, I don't want to say that.
Taysha. Okay. Tasha. So good name there, I guess. I don't know. Tasha. So, all right. Let's go. I see a question there. I don't know if it was from you, Mateo. Someone just said there, yeah, what's up, Mateo? You said here, right here, thanks for the chat again. Do you plan on shorting Google at 124? I assume you mean 104 right now. No, I don't. I'm long right now. I'm 50 cents in the money. We do have a report coming through. We've been absolutely destroying Google to the short side off this level, so it is a good question. And why wouldn't we do it, right? I mean, that would make the most sense. We've been absolutely damaging to Google up at these levels. I want to see the run, man. I want to be here for the run. The market right here is at the high of the day, and I just want to see what happens. We could get out and then back in. So, that's probably the play, actually, now that I see that. Let's try that. Let's just get out here at 96. There we go. We're out, so thanks for that advice, Mateo. Now you're responsible if it goes up and I don't win on it. So, but just playing around, of course. There we go, a nice little, oh, hey, there you go. Thank you, Mateo, right there, as we'll flush down Google a little bit right now at that 104 level again. I just don't want to go short there. So that's the difference, right? I don't mind getting out of my long, and then that's fine, and maybe regrouping when we come down here. But again, the market's, wow, now it's starting to go to the upside. That's okay. Microsoft did pull back in. We did take that last piece out. That sucks, man, because we were really into the short there, and then when it broke, obviously forced us and our hand to get out of that trade, but I still really like it. So I don't know. It's too bad. Now the market's starting to fall down here. Meta, 220. 137.20 maybe right there. Let's get out of Meta. Let's just hold Meta for 137. That's going to be $2 in the money. The market is pulling back now. Thanks, Mateo, for that one, man. I owe you a super chat right there. You saved me on this Google trade. You just saved me about 10 cents there. Good job, Mateo, on that one. But there it is, pulling back. And that's why, man, we had that idea for our boy Twitter, right? Was get out. If that did come in there up to that 96 again, we've seen that, like Neil was saying, a couple times. If the best you're going to be able to get is 53 or 52.96, whatever that was, you might as well just take it. So we did that. Now I'm only in 20% of my fill. So hopefully that'll come back in. But yeah, so far so good. Market pulling back a little bit here. And there's a save on Microsoft, man. Good thing we got out a couple times. Look at that dip. Wow. Earnings, remember, Softy and Google earnings.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, too, is it's not like we can hold Twitter till Friday, right? Like, that ARB is completely meaningless to us. I got trailed out of Microsoft. I didn't short Microsoft or reverse when it broke that 60. But I did go back to Netflix. I said Netflix is the one I want to short pops on, but I wasn't going to hold it through 92 all the way to 93, where I was short just before we came off, about 1 o'clock actually. So when it came up to that price, on the way back down, I grabbed that 93. On the way back in, 92.80 as a matter of fact. We're now back below VWAP. That 92, I'll get some out in front, and then that 91's to the downside. So pick and choose your poison. I think Netflix, even though it's up 3.5%, it's well off of those highs. Was that Brendan?
Thanks. Not market related, guys, but anyone in California, hope you have internet right now. Hope you're doing well, because apparently, guys, there was a 6.0 earthquake in California this afternoon. So Silicon Valley towards the north end of the state. But shout out to anyone in California.
Yeah, be safe. Be safe.
For sure.
6 points, that's not small.
Can't really. No, it's not small, but thank God it's in an area. I mean, I don't want to, at least hopefully they're prepped for it. I mean, it sounds like what Brandon said, I don't know anything about the areas there, but like if we ever got an earthquake here, I don't know.
We're not ready for it.
I don't think any of our buildings have been properly tested for that.
But it's dangerous. You see what happens in Haiti when they get one.
Oh man, I feel so horrible for some of those like third world kind of countries, those islands down there, that it's very hard for them to rebuild. They don't have the resources to do that, and then people get their whole life savings and everything wiped out. It's crazy. But yeah, obviously, regardless of where you are, hopefully everyone is safe and everyone's family is safe. We don't ever want to hear about natural disasters and things like that. So yeah, Mother Nature is a bitch.
Do you remember? We actually felt when we had our own trading floor years back.
We were in Ottawa, I think.
We're in like the 10th floor or something like that, our office, our old office. The 9th floor. That's our old office on the 9th floor. This is years and years ago. But like Ottawa, which is
10th floor, I think.
10th floor. So Ottawa, which is a few hours drive away from Toronto, there was an earthquake there, and it was like 2 point something.
I don't even.
And we felt it. And I was like, oh my God, if we would ever get 4 or 5, would be, game over. Because we felt it hours away, and we felt a 2-pointer. Clearly, you don't get earthquakes around here. That's like the ground. I'm like Will Smith from The Fresh Prince.
Yep.
If the ground moves,
You're gone.
we don't get a lot of natural disasters here. I'm happy for that. Just got that dollar on Netflix, so hopefully that will continue to flush down the toilet. But it does mean if we're coming back in, got to watch out for that Coinbase. It got up to like 74.5, 74.70. Now pulling back into 74. I did grab a reload here. I want to give it to 73.80 because it's been so strong. But the market just showed you a little bit of a top. NASDAQ double top. ES couldn't break the high, so I have to respect that as it does try to come back in there. So coin reload, I'll try to scalp some out in front of 40s again, see if it can take out that top. And also CCL, that's the other long I had from earlier. I'm still looking for VWAP if I can get it, so I'll buy a last dip on this. But that looks like it might not take out the high either. So been holding it in the money. You already talked about Twitter, so no need to go over that. I'll buy it on dips if it gets down to 75.80, and I'll take it out in front of 53. And that's about all there is to say about that trade, realistically. Tesla, which just got up to those, hit entry a little too fast there, so went to New York. Just got up to like 222. I was looking for 25. I think that's an obvious area to be short. Running out of steam with the rest of this market. So Tesla probably not going to be an entry for me. And then the other relatively weak name, load. Amazon here. What? Amazon here, just about to crack VWAP. I was only short this when it was breaking and holding below 120. So I am looking for this to be below 120 for shorts on Amazon. I'll try to clean that wick up for you so you can see those levels better.
Yeah, good call on that one, man. I mean, so we tried to go long Microsoft there against 249, but that didn't really work out. It was a small hit. We were long at 249.45 and out there when it broke the 200 period at 30. So about 15 cents worth of damage there. I'm going to try to go back. I am not trying. I am going back in right now into this play. I want to give this one to 249. That's all. They do have, I mean, there is earnings tonight. There are earnings tonight. So let's give this one a little bit of love. If it breaks back down below, I'm setting the order right now, man, just to get out. So I'll set it and then
forget it,
as they say. Forget it. So I'm going to set it, forget it, and move on from that trade and just to see if it does work out for us. All right. What else? What else we got here? Meta, again, 137. Okay, that did not break 137. So we're still into Meta. For some reason, we're still into Coke as that still does not want to break. I'm still down here at 80 break, I believe, anyways, for Coke. Yep, that didn't happen yet. So 80 break there on KO is something that I'm looking at right now to get out of that one. If it does break, guys, that 80 level for Coke, that's going to be an out. And then Microsoft is really the set it and forget it play for me now. Hopefully, I don't want to forget it too much. If it goes back into the 50s, I will take some out. Again, I just feel like that's the smart thing to do.
It's a figure of speech.
No, but
we don't actually forget about the positions.
No. Well, I can't forget about it. Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every day. So it's not like I wouldn't hold anything into earnings anyways. I would, of course, rather play options or something like that so that I know that I have a net zero outcome there. But we'll wait to see here what happens with this Microsoft trade. And again, 30 cents worth of risk. So if it does go near that 50 level-ish, I feel like that's an area for me to get out if it does pop back up into 50. What's up, Brendo?
All right, they're now saying it's a 5.0, so maybe not as bad. But again, northern part of California. Heads up on anything in California. Hopefully everyone's okay. Duo, halt. I feel like I haven't said there was a halt in a long time. The little one just popped up here. DUO, 100% on the day. Big volume spike there. Volatility halt for Duo, which is Fan Gold Network. DUO.
So two things here. One, I'll call it Tasha. Look, whatever. We'll call it Tasha. If the trade lost, I'd continue to call it Tisha. Tasha. But I'm calling it Tasha by its actual name because it's starting to go back upside. We can't seem to break 70s, but I started at 60, so 60 to 70. I'll still buy the dips at 250 if I can. But what happened in Coinbase? Coinbase did break back below 74. Now you've got a wick top at that same level. Like you've broken that 74 and you got a bit of a wick top through that high. I mean, that's a short setup every single time I see it. It's still a short setup. I know the market is strong, but we were off the highs of the day. And on every single time frame I look at, you've got a pretty decent wick top. So I'm going to start into this one, and I probably will want to be adding to it at like the 74 quarter, 74 half range. This one should be worth it, because usually this type of setup, if it reverses, you can see back into VWAP, if not just that 73. I do always look out, and man, you're still at the high of the day on Bitcoin. If there's one thing that stands in the way of this. Sorry?
What, do we know news on Bitcoin? It's just breaking out, I guess. Did you ever find anything on that, Brendo? Like, I don't know, man. People are talking about Cardano. I mean, I own all these things, but I haven't really been
the other day
following it too much.
You know what actually went not underreported? Actually, I don't think many people reported it. Like Tether, big time short up their balance sheet just recently, and like, sort of getting rid of some of the well, basically they're adding a bunch of treasuries.
Right.
Because
solidify.
that's the biggest concern for them has been like, what are they backing? What are they backing things with? And like, if they're going to re-up on treasuries, which are about as safe as it's going to get, that should be a positive sign for the crypto space. But nothing happened. Bitcoin just went sideways. Ether just went sideways, and now you're seeing it finally break out today. So look, this is more of a technical setup than everything else. When I go to that higher time frame, all I see is a wick top everywhere through that 74. So it makes me want to short that price area into the fresh high. So I'll take my shot on Coinbase here. If it gets to VWAP, fantastic.
I just literally want to short Coinbase like every single time I look at that stock. So I hate the governance there. I hate the share structure, everything about that company, to be honest with you. They serve a purpose, and I'm not trying to hate, on Bitcoin. I think it's a great move, but I probably, like you just said, a technical break there. And then maybe, honestly, I mean, part of it, I mean, you're kind of, first of all, look at this Microsoft trade right there. We already hit this while Neil was talking about it. So nice little move back up to the upside. Remember, we take a 15-cent hit right there, and now we're in the money 30. So far, so good on that exchange right now. But anyways, a nice little move back up to the upside. Next out, 75 right there for me as we make it all back. Well, we made more back. If I'm out right now, I made more back. But if it continues to go up, then hopefully we'll make more plus that. And then hopefully it doesn't fall down, and then we give everything back. So that could happen as well. All right, Meta is at that level again. I told you I would not short Google, but Google's up there if you want to take it. I'm going to put an offer at 136.90, right? So breaking through 136, 137. So we'll slam it down to 136.90 and get out of that one if it does come through. But that's Meta again, just bouncing off 137. The 50 period is right there at 90. So that's what we're going to use for our out here. And we're just letting the fun continue, to be honest with you. I'm having a great time. I was in, honestly, like, this was bad. Like the amount of money that I lost here, and a lot of it was just because I was so peed off that I was long down here at 246, because again, it was off the sticky note. So I'm learning every day, man. I got to respect my own notes, because we were long at 246. So I don't know why we started to get long here at 247. There's not one talk about 247 for me. And then by the time it came down to 246, it broke, and I gave it a little bit of, actually I didn't at all. It broke 246 and got out. If I would have given it love, that would have been nice. And then it just ripped up, and I was like, nah, it has to be down, has to be downside, and then averaged in until we broke that 248.50. So this was like, that's a disaster. That's like a buck and change hit on like a full position. So that was nasty. We started the day hella red. We're almost back to green. So hopefully we're able to make a little bit back up off that move. So far so good. We had a great day yesterday. Obviously you guys were watching that with multiple dollar moves. And then here again today, man, like this Meta is really helping as that continues to go. I mean, we're basically positive now. Meta all the way to the upside. Coke $1.10 in the money. That Roblox trade really hasn't done much, but still working for the upside as well. So all is good so far here today. But man, that was scary early off of this Microsoft, man. So hopefully we can get a little bit of revenge, get up to 75 now, and then just like take it easy and then get ready for Scotty Barnes later on.
Yeah, Scotty. Although, you know what, like Scotty out is huge for my fantasy shares of Pascal Siakam.
And they still won yesterday.
He's churning. Like the thing is, like, it's not, you never want a guy to get injured, but wow, Pascal goes off when the offense is all him. Bed Bath & Beyond is actually bouncing off you. If I do still have that last bit that I was looking for that 5 break on, and my stop is still all the way back in. It's like look for the home run breaking 5, and then the stop still through the high of the day. If we do have any kind of a curl at the top, that's 550 up there, I'd probably roll into some more shares to the short side. I like what I have on already, like the setup on coin, I like it. If it gets a little bit closer to that top, I'll try to add. You're consolidating below VWAP on Netflix, already working that 93 when the market's right back up to those highs. So I definitely like sitting in this one to the upside. CCL still works so far into that long trade. There was Amazon, but I said, look, if Amazon breaks 120 down, I like that a little bit more. Otherwise, it needs to break this, get lower than 120, or just test the high. In here, I don't really like Amazon, so I might just have to sit Amazon out. TSHA, by the way, that duo halted to the downside, so opened up and came right back into the downside. Tasha got up, tried to break 70, got to 74. Now you're retesting these lows. So the way I like to play this is if you get to 270 on a 250 break, you go to 75 and turn. I wouldn't just sit on the bid down around that 55. I'd rather see it get there. If the buyers, if I see any buyers or any strength show in, then I would jump on top of it. But when you go that 10% move and retrace, I'm going to back off. So I cancel my bid. Doesn't mean I don't like the long down there. I just want to see it bounce before I jump into it. And of course, if Netflix does not give me an entry at 93, I'm taking it out here at 91. The last time it consolidated at that price, it hung out there for the greater part of an hour. So there's some buyers saying, wow, I actually didn't think I'd be I didn't think I'd have anything to say about Twitter for the rest of the day after it held that
it's all the way back.
53. Yeah, but it's back. So look, I took some at 52. I'm still bidding in front of 75, and if it breaks 70, I'm out of these. Yeah, but it's already back at the bottom. I will be offering in front of 53. I don't think we're breaking that by much. So, that's pretty much been the trade. If you can get it, it's 15 to 20 cents of a scalp. I know for a lot of traders, it's like, that's no good. I don't want to be taking that. And that's absolutely fair. Like, I get it. That's not a gigantic range for a $50 stock, getting 20 cents here or there. 20 cents on, if Mullen goes 20 cents, you lose your bloody mind. But, Twitter, for us, this is a pretty solid scalp trade. So I'll go ahead and take that shot there. I don't know why that's coded a short sell. I know why. Because
I have an offer out.
Yeah, I have a ridiculous offer at 53.24 when the news first came out, and I've been long the entire time. So if I have as many offers out as total shares, then that next one isn't coded a sell, it's coded a short sell, because in theory you'd be flat if they all filled. So that's why you see that purple there. I just got rid of that. But Twitter, yeah, actually back into it. Didn't think that would happen, but here we are.
Yeah, all right. We are getting ready for Power Hour, which is awesome. 2, 3 o'clock coming through right now. Look, man, we got a grade out, man. We got 74s or 73s there. We told you we're waiting for 75s, but we're waiting a little bit earlier than that. So a nice little out there. 73, I believe it was, for Microsoft. So one more piece out. We are now holding 20% of what we had initially down there. So nice little move up, 20, 40, 60. I guess we have 2 outs probably there. Only 20% left anyways, regardless of whatever math I did there for Microsoft, back up to the upside right now. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3 outs. 4, 5. No, we still have 40%. So we still have 40% of this. Okay. Wish we would have got out of more there at 75, but we didn't. So we still do have that. And you're welcome, man. I mean, there's some people there talking about what I was just saying there, and they appreciate the honesty there. And that's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem. I told you guys as I was in that trade that I was not happy about all of that. And then you probably saw there that, I was losing. And it's tough because when we're sitting here losing, those of you that are at home, that's cool. But we're sitting here actually trading and exposing all of our positions to you. So you will see me because, I putting on some shares, and like when it goes against me, it does suck. Like we won't sit here and say, oh, I just lost $3,000 or something like that. But you guys can tell, like when that happens, it's not going to be nice for me, because you guys know that if it's going to be a Microsoft and AMD or something like that, we are going to have some shares on there. So unfortunately that did hit, but we're almost back right now. So that's what trading's all about, man, is it's like catching your bearings and then just getting back at it, right? Which is why that's why, honestly, I was just talking about it right now. I had too many positions. So I just got out of Amazon. I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't need Amazon there. Google was a great call to get out of that at the top as well. So trying to be a little more patient with the plays that I have on right now and just to be calmed down a little bit. So that's what we're doing. trading is all about emotions and managing those, because the trades will come in for you all the time. Like you could see multiple days, we have multiple dollar winners here, but it's about managing them, making sure you have the right risk profile associated to those trades, and then just trading your plan, right? And that's what we've been doing here. As this market right now is below the 50 period, so now I have to like start to think about some of these plays here. Meta. Okay, so Meta has creeped up a little bit. I'm still going to give it to 137, even though right now it is kind of telling me that maybe we should be getting out, because now we're below the 50 period, both on the NASDAQ and on the ES. So that's something that I look at right there, the 50 period. So now we're below it. It's not much below it, but maybe we've seen that top. Look where we stopped at, 11,700, another key level. So the bottom today, 600, the top today, 700. So, I mean, that's not the ultimate bottom, but that's where we were there in the afternoon. Let's see what happens here. If Meta takes down 137, we're out for $1.80.
Yeah, and look, it's like this market, it's trying to go, but every single time you test that top, it can't seem to break through. Now, obviously, Snapchat's pretty strong. We talked about that. Probably should have held on to it, that last long trade that I got out at 940. But here you are. You actually put the biggest reversal that we've seen. I mean, well, yeah, pretty much all day long. I'd say that's the biggest on my 3-minute when it rejected 970 here. And so I'm going to respect that a little bit. If the market doesn't get through the highs, this is another one. I feel like it's a little bit overextended on Snapchat. Look, you talk about what's going on with Meta. This is part and parcel some of the same thing there. So, you know, I am watching Meta as well. Meta has a double top that it's pulling off of, and you got to have that up if you're watching it. If Meta takes out the high, Snapchat probably does the same thing too. But I'm going to respect this on Snapchat and say if we get through 970, forget it. But that's a pretty big seller that started at that 60 level, so I'm going to take my shot off this high of the day. Right here, starting at 59s. Brendo, ooh, I haven't talked about this stock in a while.
Yeah, another one having a monster day today, guys. Rumble just took out the highs once again on decent volume. I saw some headlines about that Steve Will Do It guy doing some live streaming today on Rumble. But anyways, another one that's been just crushed, getting a bit of a bounce so far.
I don't know who the hell that Steve Will Do It is, but yeah, look, Rumble I think is going to get some traction, man. Especially now with this whole Twitter nonsense. I was going to.
Well, it is.
I kind of did say it. So, and I just feel like, I mean, it's not like tin hat here or anything like that, but I mean, you know, he could make a deal to grab Rumble at this point now too. I mean, you know, and put that on the platform.
Given what he wants to do, remember he keeps talking about this whole X thing where it's like the one, like basically like WeChat. If you know what WeChat is, it's like that one app that just does everything. It's communication,
social,
shopping, payments, ride hailing, right? So if he does want to do that with Twitter, then acquisitions could be a faster way.
That could be it, man. And Rumble, not, I don't know what obviously, it's not CFVI anymore. Does this have market cap? No, it doesn't. Let's just go over here and check it out. I'll just use FinViz, unless Brendo, he probably has a better source than this. But I'm just going to see well, I mean, I guess all sources should be the same, actually, when you're coming up with this one. So let's just see what we have here for Rumble as a market cap. $2 billion. He could have just had this thrown in to the Twitter deal.
That's like
it seems like right now. So
just a couple of breakup deals.
Yeah, that's just a couple more 1,000 shares of Tesla or something that he has to sell to get that deal done. But again, this is not, please don't you know, say to Neil and I, you know, this is what's happening. We have, I mean, I don't have any idea, and I don't think Neil does either, about any possible buyouts. But that would make sense anyways for a stock like Rumble, especially if he is looking to sort of put all that together and then give the big, you know what, to like the FTC and all that, just because he's going to say, so what, I'm going to do this. You can try to regulate it. But there was also talk of YouTube. Yeah?
No, I can't. Can I say that?
I don't think you probably can't say it.
No, probably not. It's just an old story with a friend. I shouldn't go there.
Well, I mean, now I feel like now the people want to know what you're going to say.
No, like we had a friend who basically like one time, he'd walk up to a dude at a club, and he'd be like, so what? I could have your girl. And that was his line. Like he wouldn't approach the girl. He would go to the dude and be like, so what? I could have your girl. And that was the approach. It's like, okay, well, whether it worked or not, let's just say potential.
Right. There it is. We are back now. We are now green on the day. So finally, man,
Marcus.
we will go like that. Wow, there it is. And it took Microsoft to get back up there, right into that level. We didn't want to jinx it. Well, now I did. But we're not going to go super red mode here at all anyways today because we're just net long. So finally, man, we battled back. That was the worst trade I made all month. Right there on Microsoft, and you know what? We made it all back, and really happy with that. We're still red on Microsoft, so that's for sure. But we've made money. I mean, you can see the other places that we have right now. Roblox 50 cents in the money. Meta just a paltry $2.40 now in the money. Coke, you guys. Hopefully you saw me trade Coke today as well. That's going to be a big mover to the upside. Now 59. Let's just get out at 59, man. Now that we have this trade in our back pocket and now we're green for the day. So, we're just going to be like barbecuing up something tonight and just thankful to make this money back. So, yeah, big day there. Wow, what a turnaround. We're going to be excited now even more for tomorrow. But I've learned, man, we did not need to sort of revenge trade that earlier. If we just stick with what we do best, the proof is in the pudding there, and we just battled. We battled way back right there today. So really sort of proud of that. So, let's just move on from that. But there it is. Nice little upside move for Microsoft. And remember what the risk to reward was on this trade, man? It was 15 cents. And now we're in the money 65 cents. So that's what it's all about. Trading 101 right there. Risk management is by far the most important. People can YOLO whatever they want and say, oh, this, that. But ultimately, man, it's all about making the right risk to reward decisions. And if you can do that, plus proper keystrokes and whatnot, with the right names, you should be all right.
Yeah, well, you never want to make a keystroke error, that's for sure. Get those down packed. As a matter of fact, that would be nice to have those Trader TV gloves because my hands are always cold around here. So make less keystroke errors if my hands aren't freezing.
Yes.
I'm going right back to the well. The market's at the high of the day, so it's not at the high on Netflix, but if you just look at the last hour, it's at the high of the last hour, that 93 level. So I reload the short. I'm going to scalp a buck if I can get it. I'm going to hold for 2 if it does want to go, and then watch out for a coin. The one downside to this setup is it's 307. So when it does this kind of a wick top, like I'm giving it to the high, I'll sit in this pretty much all day long if it wants to hold that channel for that pullback in VWAP, but there's only 50 minutes left. And that is the trouble with a level like this, where if you get a wick in the morning and it tests out, like if it does like this kind of a consolidation, where it just sits in the top of the range or it sits in a lower high range after a wick, like I'd sit in it that entire time looking for that roll down. But there's a bit of a time horizon problem with this trade. So if it breaks a high that day, that's pretty easy. But if we don't exit this channel, I might just have to take it off regardless of what the conditions might be. It may never run my stop. If it does, I'm out. But if it doesn't run my stop, I still have to be flat at 4 o'clock. That can be a little bit of a trouble when you are day trading, because it's not just about your levels. It can be about that time horizon as well. Netflix, which you already saw. CCL, this is a bit of a disappointment, I'll say, in CCL, because it's working, but it cannot get back to the high of the day. So I'm going to get out of this in front of the top. It doesn't feel like this one wants to go any further, which I said is disappointing. Bed Bath & Beyond, this is trying to get back in, but it cannot take out this lower high that it put in at about 530, 540. If anything, market starts heading back. This could be a bit of a reload into that short. And then just like I was talking about in Coinbase, Snapchat, if it breaks out of this high, I'm out of Snapchat. It's a 970 stop. I mean, I'm not going to take it out 5 cents early just because it happens to be strong to the upside. Like, I have a stop. I will adhere to it. Snap's already worked so far. And realistically, the 2 shorts didn't work earlier. It was all the longs. But if I see a short setup, I'm still going to take it up here at the top.
All right, guys. Yeah, you are... Who was that there in the chat? I just saw he says, I always say I take revenge trades and never going to do it again. I know. And that is the problem right there. And it's just, it's just about trusting yourself to not make those plays. But sometimes I don't really consider them revenge trades, but today definitely was. So, and I'll call myself out for that every time. I mean, whatever, man. It's how I trade, and unfortunately, I need to fix that. And I think that we all kind of have those little things about how we trade as individuals. So, all right, Meta about to come out. I'm still giving it, but I mean, why should we even do that? I mean, it is kind of bleeding down a little bit. You know, whatever, man. 17 cents difference. I was going to say let's get out at like 137.15 or so, right where that 50 period is. But we're going to get out anyways at 137 break. So let's just stay with the trade now and see if that's something that we want to do. So we're going to hold out for that one. PayPal, like, again, you know, this is another thing. Like, I could have revenge traded this one, I guess, as well, because we got out early, man. We got out. We had PayPal. We tweeted that out as soon as we heard that. Brendan came with the news earlier this morning that it was Amazon and Venmo, just in time, man. I mean, what a great opportunity for PayPal to get ready for Black Friday, to get ready for Christmas time, and now they're going to be an option to pay for goods on Amazon through your PayPal account. So I feel like that's, well, I guess it's Venmo, but I feel like that's going to be awesome for PayPal, and people are just going to choose that option now because why not? I mean, there's a lot of people that hold money in PayPal. Maybe they don't have a traditional bank account. There's obviously reasons for that as well. So I feel like that's good, and we'll see now. And because the other thing too about PayPal is you can easily transfer from crypto back and forth as well using PayPal. So you know, that could be another reason. Hey, look, I want to buy this new TV. You quickly convert over some of your Bitcoin into cash, go onto Amazon and bang it out like that. So I feel like PayPal does have a nice little runway to the top side now, but it hasn't broke this 89.50, but whatever. PayPal off the bottom there, they still have earnings coming through as well. So we're going to see what happens with some of these companies, but that 80 bottom's a nice level. I think we'll try to buy some more. Well, we're waiting for earnings before we do anything on any of these names, but good little move upside there for PayPal today off that news. That's for Black Friday. Oh, PayPal's earnings next week. Okay.
Well, so yeah, because next week is actually, technically speaking, like next week, I think you have a few more names out of that S&P 500. So like this week is like the market cap week, and maybe next week it just has. I think it's really close, but it's 2 big weeks of earnings. By next week, we'll have a resolution on Twitter. Until we see that, it's this nonsense that we're going to see over and over again. So as much as I know it can be boring, it just bounced off 70 back into the 80s. I offer from 52.80 all the way up to 53 even, and I don't think we're breaking 53 even at this point. It's just, you know, maybe it does happen, and I'm looking at breakouts tomorrow, but I'll be buying dips unless some kind of crazy news comes out that says this isn't happening. And that's the reality. I keep seeing people talk about CLSK, so I'll bite. Yeah, actually, this is pretty strong. I've seen this a couple of times today, and then I looked at it and was like, oh, it's already made its move. But yeah, it's kind of barcoding up at the top. Not really barcoding, but a 10-cent range, still climbing to the upside. So I guess you could respect that, but here it is. This is a problem. It's right on the daily. Like, look at this 360 level. It just needs to get through the top. Right, it's churning higher, looks pretty strong, can't seem to clear that high. That's what you want to see. I'd need to see that breaking out there to get a bit excited about it. And you're seeing obviously sellers at those prices. That's what ends up happening. You get to a bag hole type level or consolidation level on these small caps, and they just hang out there with sellers at those previous highs. And that's all I see over there in CLSK. Maybe not as interesting as a Snapchat or. Tasha's trying to go here. It keeps getting at a 275, but can't seem to break. Another 10 to 15 minutes of this, and I'll just get out in front of 275. If it can't go, then I have to accept that. Snapchat's still looking at that 970. It's within spitting distance of it here, so I'll hold on for that break. Same thing with coin. It's trying to take it out through that 74 3/4. If it does go, I'm not reversing to a long Coinbase. I don't want to buy it at this top again. Brendo?
One of the laggards in an otherwise pretty strong healthcare group today, just popping up here, guys. Biogen. This was the earnings this morning in the pre-market, and then the call happened around the open. We came back down. Starting to pop back up, though, for BIIB overall, a bit of a mixed report for them.
Yeah, I'll always root for that stock, but that company, I should say, not necessarily that stock. I don't own it or anything like that. But what they're doing is fantastic. We'll flush down a toilet. Coinbase, that just went through the high. And I just complained about Tasha at 75, and then it breaks, goes to 78, and it's right back at 75. This is the breakout that just does not want to get to $3. Sometimes you break a level like this, it consolidates and takes out the high, and it just shoots up. Now, I'm going to give it that chance. I'm going to get on the offer at 3. I haven't checked for locates or what price they might be, but if we do break, say, 280 and get to that $3 range, I'm probably going to pay for locates depending on the time. If it's a little bit too late in the day, I wouldn't go ahead and do it.
All right, this Roblox is getting to be pretty spicy right now. It's made a nice little move off that bottom. We're just looking at this right here, 45.60. I'm gonna just respect that and then get out of Roblox if it gives me that trade. So we're gonna do that. I'm not even in Amazon and I have it up over here. So there's Roblox. It's a nice move to the upside. There was some kind of a report today about them having just better numbers coming through there for the month of October, I guess it must have been. So we were like, okay, I remember last time that happened. Nice little move to the upside there for Roblox, 45.80. That's right near this top. So we'll hold out for that or get a 45.60 out. So we're just gonna play this 10-cent move here on Roblox and see which way it wants to go from there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play in the middle there on Roblox and see if it does give us either 80, which would be the top right there, or a break back down of 60. So let me put that offer in right now for that 80 and also and we'll just see what fills, right? We'll put a trailing.
Well, Twitter just broke down.
Twitter just broke down?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have.
Oh, no, never.
No, it didn't.
So,
Broke
okay,
up.
so this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I went from in position on Twitter to out in one shot, right? So I was still holding 90% of the position, so my gut reaction is if everything comes out at once, it had to run my stop to the downside. What actually happened is it just went to 53 and I got it all out. So we'll do this one for Twitter. That's ridiculous. It just, essentially there's buyers here, and this is just an arb play at this point till Friday, where we get some actual news here, but it goes down to 52 70s and 80s. You buy it, it goes up to 53. That's it. You rinse and repeat that. With any luck, there's that trade. It does something like this or somewhat similar to it for the rest of the week. Hopefully just gradually going to the upside. Like that would be the play that I know a lot of people will be looking for, at least on this floor, and day traders in general that do this kind of a thing. Netflix, look, I'm on the bid in front of 92s to rinse and repeat this one to the short side. So Coinbase didn't work. Netflix short. Obviously a much more relatively weak name. Sometimes it's just better to short a relatively weak name. But when I see that wick top on Coinbase, I'm going to take it almost every single time. So I'm sitting on this bid looking to catch that. If the market doesn't break the highs, I don't see any way this shouldn't be good. They've already reported. Don't have to worry about that. And that Tasha can't seem to go anywhere. One stock that I keep forgetting about here, because I'm watching Alibaba. I don't know why I have that up instead of NEO. NEO's actually moving this afternoon and up 12% on the day, but it broke out right when we came back on air. It only went about 20 cents or so, but broke the high and is continuing to move higher. Now, what gets really interesting is if we're anywhere near this $11 level tomorrow, then you would have filled almost the entire gap in from Friday. Pretty big, strong move, but I would suspect we're going to see some sellers on NIO if this thing can get to 11. I'll pop on the bit of Twitter again if I get a chance to get that fill one more time. We are running out of time to be able to take that. It's a scalp trade. So, to move that 20 cents, we've already been able to do it a couple of times. I'll try one more here on Twitter.
Just noticing that we are almost out of Microsoft. So it touched 250 again. Was trying to play for that long rip upside there. I still think it could happen, but we're also not going to let it drip down again. So now we only have that 20% left, as we did take another out right there. So again, there's the buy. There's the first in 45. Out 30s, and then we went back in off of that wick bottom there, and then now we captured a lot of profit because now we're in the money 55 cents. So a couple good outs there. First out is that 15 cents or so. That was actually 18 cents, and then we went to again doubled that up, got out at 60, so that's 30 cents. So that's double 2 for 1 on the risk, and then right back into here. I don't know why we got a couple outs at 75. I didn't even realize that's where we got out that last time, but we did. We should have saved that bullet for right here. But now we're going to wait. If we take that down, that's 70, then we're going to get out of Microsoft. Just don't want to be in this name in case it does come out. Remember, we do have earnings later on this evening, but I'm expecting a good report from Microsoft. I feel like they're the one name that's sort of isolated from ad revenues. So we'll see, though. We did talk about LinkedIn being a certain percentage, obviously, for ads there as well. So, yeah, more to come here today as we get ready with only now 40 minutes left and 30 until imbalances. What you got, Brendan?
One we could be talking about, maybe or maybe not, tomorrow. Boeing coming tomorrow as well. So a nice move today, back to the upside 3%. We took out recent highs and getting back into some recent consolidation as well. ahead of earnings for this one as well, guys, for Boeing?
I just want to quickly, there was a really good question in there. Someone just asked, like, I'm short Snapchat. Look, it's, short 62 to stop out at 70 is the ultimate day trade, and it's taking out these highs as we speak. So Snapchat likely to break this top any second now. I gave it like an extra penny. I don't like usually having a stop pretty much exactly at that 70, it prints 71. So I usually give it an extra tick. But if we break out, fair enough. I'm just covering the trade. But someone just asked, what about it for a longer term? Look, it's filling in a gigantic gap. And we already showed you after the bad earnings. But here's what I want to, here's a quick look. Snapchat, 4.6 billion in sales with a market cap of 19. Twitter with double that market cap and then a little bit extra because the deal will be at 54 and only 10% more in sales. So you can look at that two ways. One of those, you could say, well, that just sort of demonstrates how much Elon is overpaying for Twitter. That's obviously absolutely true. But there is some logic to the point where you've made a capitulation bottom on this stock. And if you've, I don't know where now my gap isn't showing here. But anyways, if you've got the longs off of this 8 area or 850 and you think it's a bit of an opportunity to hold it, well, you've got the capitulation bottom. It's back above its previous support at $9. And yeah, maybe it does. If the market wants to continue this little bear market rally, I don't see why you couldn't get to the 50 period up at $11 from here. But that's if you're in the money already. And I acknowledge, like I just showed you that on FinViz, but it's probably more accurate to say Elon's overpaying based on that metric. But it's not entirely untrue that Snapchat's value, just from a strict revenue standpoint, is better, much more reasonable than what you're seeing for Twitter here. But again, that's probably why Elon's overpaying.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to revamp that whole situation.
Yeah, exactly. It is a different
turn the company around and give, different things that hopefully get rid of the bots, remember, and hopefully verify me. Or all of us would be nice, but we need to get that main account verified first, and then we'll do that. Okay, so again, another one, like, it feels like all of my last outs, I need to like reverse short. I mean, it's just like, this is, again, I talked about this, man, learning something every single day and trying to get better as a trader, right? So there's another, just another one of those examples, to be quite honest with you. There we go, out right there at 70, and then it just faded out to 50, 46. Now it's back, but that was a 46 bottom there. So play the momentum to the downside. We're still not out of Roblox. We're still not out of anything significant right now. So we're going to wait to see what does happen. Now Microsoft's bouncing back to the upside, which is fine. We didn't get out of our Meta. We didn't get out of Roblox, we didn't get out of Twitter, and we didn't get out of Coke. So we're still 4 times the long right here into a market that I like. So we'll see if they can hold out. Hope here that something's going to print for us back up. Starbucks. What else? Oh,
just quickly here for a second. Read the chat if we get a chance.
Yeah.
So I did get some out there. Like that Netflix did give me a fill as I was talking about Snapchat there. So it did give me a fill. I'm not going to rinse and repeat this. We're getting later in the day, and you're making higher lows. So you make one higher low, fair enough. You make a second one, like I've just seen here off the level where I started shorting it, and that means no more reloads for me. So my stop is still through this top here on Netflix, but I'm not going to be reloading it anymore. Just going to have to respect the fact that if it breaks out, it breaks out. That's what it's got to be all about here. And CCL, just want to quickly on CCL. This is no longer, like, look how slowly it's going. So I'm going to cancel my offer up here, give it a chance to run. No point being on the dip buy. But we did miss a super chat by Mr. Westermeyer.
Okay.
Once again, he was asking it, like, what's the safer earnings trade, Alphabet or Microsoft? First off, I don't think earnings trades are safe. Like, there's no such thing as a safe earnings trade, especially in the environment that we're in. The one difference, and I think you alluded to this. That's why I wasn't sure if you answered the question, because I think you talked about this in a general sense. That both of these two names have risk when it comes to like ad spend, right. But Microsoft is just smaller. The USD has been pretty strong, but there's been some pretty significant pullbacks. Like I would say, Microsoft, from the standpoint of the whole ad thing, you've seen such big moves to the downside. Like you saw what happened to Snapchat. We've seen what happens to Meta. And Alphabet could have that risk on it as well. It's definitely pretty strong off of some of these lows. But that's the one thing that would concern me. From a more fundamental standpoint, that would concern me. That being said, I think Google's a fantastic value at the prices that it's sitting at right now. But short answer, there's no such thing as a safe earnings play. But it's the whole uncertainty with when it comes to ad spending that would concern me more with Google or Alphabet than it would with Microsoft.
Yep, and I just think, the more hands in the cookie jar, which Google has a lot in there, and I still think that both of them are going to be safe today, I feel like. So let's wait to see. I feel like the cloud is a big part, big story there for everybody that's involved with Microsoft and or Google. So we'll see there. I know Google was talking about getting some new cloud deals going on. All right. I see ya. Yeah, boo for me on this one, guys. Yeah, there goes Microsoft right back up to 250. Nice move, man. We got out, 30 cents ago. And there it goes right up to the upside. No real skin off my back. My net is going up right now, just not as much as it would have been the other way around. Coke, Meta is now, like we're doing this every single day, and we got a decent amount of shares on at that bottom here for Meta. You can see 3 fills. And there it goes right now, again, $3 now in the money on Meta as we continue to pump higher and higher and higher. So that's going to be just a fantastic move for me. Good thing we didn't get out. Remember, we were going to change our out. Then I'd really be tilted a little bit if I would have got out there. Would have still been fine. I'm still over the moon here that we were able to make money back today, so that's been good for me. But there's a nice little move back up to 138. Now it might be time to look and say, hey, what up, Meta? You have some of these highs at 140, 141. I still want to think that we should hold this. The market's now up 2+% and trying to go more now. So there it is, man. NASDAQ booming again today. The NASDAQ has been waiting for this moment, right? Now it's time. It's time to put up or shut up. These names are going to come tomorrow, tonight, and then hit the market tomorrow. And then we're just going to see where we trade from there. So far, so good on these movements to the upside. But again, what goes up, yeah, it doesn't have to come down, but we do have to find areas to get out in case we do have this move to the downside. I'm just wondering about what about right here? Let's just do this, man. 137.70. I mean, we're in the money 250 if we get out there. I'm doing that, man. 137.70. I'm going to get out of Meta. There's only a half hour left. Let's just be super, super happy with the results that we've had here today, and then just go home, kiss the baby, and get ready for tomorrow. Let's go, Brendo.
Wait a minute. No.
A little one, guys. MVST just popping up here on big time volume, 15% on the day to the upside. There was a deal announced recently. This wasn't today, but with Shell to the upside. This is a electrical component maker, but trying to test recent highs anyway for MVST.
Yeah, and there goes that break at the top on Snapchat. So once again, Snapchat makes a fresh high. Oh, no, not out of Tasha. Not out of Tasha just yet, but I did put a trail on Tasha because it got up to that 280 level. And just to quickly go here to show you, it got to 280 almost exactly. This is the daily chart. This is the 50 period at about 290, which is right smack dab, $3, 290. It just got to that 280 and pull back a little bit. So if it goes up, I'm actually going to get out in front of that 80 level. It never really, I wanted the dip here at 50s. That's why no reload at 60s. And sometimes you look back and, learning experience for me here, I was way too picky. I should have just bought back in at the 60 level at the original entry. Why wait for the 50s? Just because it happened to break out at 50. 60s where it showed support the first time on the dip. I should have anticipated that the second time. So I'll just be out of Tasha. I think it could have been better. Hopefully this is still in play tomorrow because I really do like that $3 level. And the fact that it's closing up here is a pretty good sign. But it's about 330 now. And now I'm just in CCL and Bed Bath & Beyond, which I've waited around as guess what just got back to those highs? Still a NASDAQ stock last I checked, Neil.
Yep.
Bed Bath & Beyond's got right back up to that 550. So I was short this. I've been short it since about noon. It bounced off VWAP. I only hold the last 10% of it, but I've been waiting for it to test this high to look for a reload. This is not where my stop is. My stop is at the high of the day, which is 553. That's just how far aggressively my limit order is crossed above if it were to break. So I'm actually crossing up 15 cents. Just in case it goes crazy, I want to make sure I get a fill.
All right, and we'll just go finish the trade. So I don't know what to do. We'll just do this one. It was a good trade for us on Coke there today, but that stock did come out right there. And now we're out. Yeah, let's get ready to pump those likes, guys. What's up, Klopp? Thank you so much, Klopp, for that in the chat. Shout out to KLOPP. Let's hit those like buttons for us, please, and thank you, guys. We're here every single day trying to make this work for everybody. So, yeah, hit that like. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated, and thank you, Klopp. Klopp. You got my attention there with that name and everything, so thank you so much. What's up, Raphael? Thank you so much. Billy Rax, all of that as well. Oh, WWE at all-time highs. All-time highs?
No, it's not.
No, isn't at all-time highs. 52-week highs, right, yeah.
Yeah.
What, did you talk about WWE?
No, but I was just calling the stock up.
Oh, you were just calling the stock up. Okay, so maybe there's something about that. All right, I was just reading to see if there's any sort of news happening here in this market. Doesn't seem to be right now. And again, shout out to everybody out there. Thank you for all the support that you keep giving us. It's very, very kind and very, very nice. And thank you again for all the love on the like button and everything. That means a lot to us. Meta is now... Let's effing go right now. There it is right there, Fahad, for you. We're not flushing anything down. Meta is just ripping right here to the upside. What really does suck is this out right there for Microsoft. Damn you, 50 period, and me respecting that. But there goes Microsoft right up to the upside. We tried, man. We tried to hold it, but we failed. So we did not, we were not able to hold that one very long there, and that's a fail for me on Microsoft. But we win everywhere else. The one that came out was Coke. I don't know why that dipped down. This is a pretty bullish run right now for tech names. And again, I just think it's people... It wouldn't be surprised, to see a big report tonight from both Microsoft and from Google. So let's wait to see if those come through, man, on that. But I don't know if anyone has the implied volatility on that. We were looking for that earlier.
Well, Lucas said he couldn't find it, but then he said...
There has to be websites.
But then he said 6% on Alphabet. And I was
I think he guessed it.
Oh, he guessed it? Who said 8? Somebody said 8? So he's saying 8.
8. So someone could give us a good resource there. I don't know.
You guys let us know
if there is a good resource, or maybe Brendan has it on the icon terminal there. But that's implied volatility means the implied move, I guess, where it's going to go. So 6% up or down, and how they determine that is from options. So they figure out the buying and the selling of the options, what strike prices, so on and so forth, and come up with an implied volatility. So yeah, wow, hit the like, y'all. So let's see how many likes we have right now before we throw it back to Neil. What? No, that can't be the right. Is this the right show? No, that's the wrong one. Oh, man, darn it. I was going to say we have 2.8K. Wrong show loading for me right here. I pulled the wrong one down. Let me close that and see. What are we at? Are you on that? Let me see right here.
947.
Yeah, 978.
989. Someone gets to be the lucky 1,000 in a quick second there. It's always pretty cool. There it is. Someone just got that lucky 1,000.
Good.
Usually I try to be a different number. It's either I try to be 1 in the morning show, but in the afternoon show, I always try to sneak in like 420 if I can. I never quite, it's impossible to get it. You guys know how that works. But have you noticed how strong WWE's chart is?
No, I didn't even look at it.
Thank you. I always love when things like this get brought up. Look at the $80. I had to go all the way back. It's not all-time highs. It was actually at $100 if you go back to 2019. However, if you look at the 2019 lower high was at 80, and it is just churning right into this $80 level. So yeah, maybe keep an eye on WWE here at that 80. The volume sucks. That's the real problem. So maybe we'll see when they have their earnings. I'm not really sure, but that 80 level looks pretty juicy when you go back in the higher time frame. And it is a strong stock. Higher lows since the beginning of the year. Like this was it was at $48 at the beginning of this year and is now trading at 78. Not too many names you can actually say that about unless it's an energy name. So that's pretty strong for WWE. Shout out. Well, we're old school wrestling fans, so I knew this would happen. I knew this was going to happen on Tasha, that's what it is. I knew it was going to get out of it shy of that 280 high, and I have to enter twice, and then it was going to break out and head toward $3. Is what it is. I'll definitely be saying to myself, why not just hold on to it? But it looked like it was going to challenge lower to 260, and now it's going to break up to 3. I said if it did this, I was going to pay for shorts if there was enough time, and there was a failed break at 3. So breaks 3, can't get past like 05, and then short it on the way back in, but that will not be free to do.
Brendan coming with $347 million to buy into the market on close and balance. I'm long everything, so it's fine for me for that. So we'll wait to see if that is going to do anything on that side of things. I am really impressed, man. If anybody, first of all, PayPal up to 89, great long on that one. Anybody that has PayPal today, as it's near the high of the day as well. Roblox, of course, we get out at 60. It's at 80, so we lose on that gamble as well. But where we're not losing, well, we did lose on Microsoft, but where you're not losing is that 250 break. It waited all day to do it, and when it did, man, it's just been marching. So nice move up to 250.50. I don't know what this report's going to be, but why not just hold it? It's above that 250. I like this long the rest of the day, so we'll see here where it goes. But remember, the NASDAQ's up that 2%. We do have a buy imbalance coming out, so, well, hopefully a buy imbalance as of right now. That's in 15 minutes, but Microsoft and the NASDAQ, nice move here in the last 10 minutes, I guess. Broke the day's high right there, took it out 11,700 basically, took it 11,705, and then just kept on going. So it's a nice move regardless today for Microsoft and everybody involved in the NASDAQ. Meta also starting to print a little bit higher. I'm using this as my out there 70, so we'll wait to see if that pulls back 30 cents or so for that name. Twitter's still doing its damn thing. We talked about it, Mateo. You asked earlier.
I'm going to cancel my orders on Twitter. It's getting too late for that dip buy.
I'm not dip buying anymore. I'm just going to wait to see if it blows up, and then we only have 20% left. You guys asked Mateo if I was shorting Google there. I said no, but I did get out, which seems to be a mistake. We got out, and again, not blaming you, Mateo, at all. It's just I should have shorted a little bit at that point, but then when it took it out, look at this, man, still started to go. We were long Google, so we have left a little bit of money on the table. We left money on the table with Softy. We left money on the table with this trade here on Google. So good movement. We're going to try to remember some of this stuff. When you have earnings coming through, there's always going to be opportunity, right? So, it looks like, and you guys want to talk about maybe, a safe earnings report or whatnot, this and that. If indication here of these moves that have just happened in the last 30 minutes, I mean, people are buying Google, people are buying Microsoft. So whether or not it's positioning, I would assume.
Well, they were buying Snapchat though.
What, into their earnings report? I don't remember.
Yeah,
were they? Was it up that day? I mean, the whole NASDAQ is moving up, but again, Snapchat's a little bit of a different beast, man. It doesn't take that much money to buy that into Google, into Microsoft, and it could all just be options plays and stuff. But either way, man, Google and Microsoft starting to get up to the upside.
Yeah, definitely. And look, we're getting close to that $3 level on Tesla. That's the next thing I'm going to be watching. Obviously, it's one of the few things that's up, like breaking out when it's already up like 300% or 100%, like I said. But you just haven't had as many of these. I remember if you go back to last year, this time, it felt like we do the afternoon show and there'd be 3 or 4 names making this kind of a parabolic move. So it's good to see something break out on big volume and then even follow through on a second salvo. But that $3 level, that's what I'm looking for here, about 4 or 5 cents away from engaging in a short off of that 3. Brennan?
We saw Teladoc, guys, this morning on a upgrade on the upgrades and downgrades board in the pre-market. If you joined us, I was just double checking who it was again. Davidson on a cut, but there was actually an upgrade, I remember. This morning, here's TDoc now, guys, up 10%, trying to close above that last high, in fact. Nice day for Teladoc.
Yeah, wow. Some
10%?
of these, crappier names.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah, I just mean that respectfully. Names that have been beat down, right? You saw Roblox up 10%. We're still long Roblox, but we got out of that one. Up 10%, so TDoc up 10%. Probably names like UiPath. I mean, what is DraftKings even up today? You want to talk about a beat down, I guess, not currency, but asset class? Bitcoin, it hasn't been beat down at all. It has actually been holding some nice levels down there around 19,000. And then out today, you are getting that break. So there it is right there, 20,400 top. Now you are starting to give back a little bit in Bitcoin. So I would say you just watch out for this 20,000 break again back down to that downside. But there's Bitcoin, nice little rally to the moon, as they say there for BTC. Also Ethereum looking very, very similar. These are just 1-minute charts here. Started again at about 9 o'clock down there at 1350, and then it's just sort of made its way all the way up to 1525 before now pulling back in. You could do a lot of the same work with crypto as you do with equities, right? So if you're going to look at levels, longer time frames, so on and so forth, there is a good opportunity there to trade, especially because it trades 24 hours a day. So nice movement there on crypto. Wow, Google still 105 now, up 2+%. This market is pretty crazy here today. Nice upside moves.
Yeah, you gotta love it there. And you were talking about stocks that are maybe depressed and up 10%. I'll do you one better than that. Affirm's up 15% today.
Yeah,
and
there
look,
you
if
go.
you can't beat them, join them. You know it's a crazy day when I was actually long Affirm. I'm proud to say it. Not at the bottom, but it did break 20. I got out at 20.50. But very, very strong move to the upside. I'm just kind of curious. I know we cracked that 1,000 mark, but Lucas, I think we got a little something that we can look at here. There it is.
No.
1240s. That's less than ideal, but
No.
that tells us what the number is at least.
That
So
is
we're at
so
1246.
gangster. It's unbelievable how gangster
That is so gangster.
That is beyond gangster.
That's not Tupac and Biggie.
No, that's like
that's going way back. Like
that's
way
like
back.
a
We're talking
real
Aaron B and
gangster
Rakim.
counter right there.
You know,
But
that's going.
I like
mean,
that. That's
Shug.
What is that? Why is that still up? Anyways?
That's some Suge Knight stuff
right now. That's real gangster right there. So, all right. So I will slap this on that project, but whatever. We'll see. It'll get better.
It's a work in
It just
progress.
needs to be shrunk. If that was literally shrunk, just like over where it says
But
Trader
there's
TV
no
Live.
context. You don't know what it is. It's just a number.
Well, we can keep referencing it, but yeah, you're right. There is no real reference.
What's crazy is, and thank you to everybody that like gave me some suggestions on like what science fiction novel to read, because I'm almost through the 3-body problem. It is an unbelievably, it's a great story. But that's actually one of the guys going crazy in the book. He's like seeing a countdown everywhere,
Oh,
and it
okay.
starts like freaking him out. So like you see a random number with no context to it. The first thing that came to my mind is imagine like you take a picture, and only when you take a picture on every single photo, there's a countdown happening. Like, would you not go crazy? Yeah,
I mean, I'm going crazy anyways. I like that zombie catalyst. Shrink it and put it in the top right.
Dark matter.
I do like that one there.
Yeah.
Is it back? Where is it? Yeah, okay, so we'll just fool around with it. So if you see it going everywhere there, I think that's a good idea. Top right or top
Someone said
left
put it on my forehead.
would be pretty cool. Or right in the middle.
Put it right on the dome.
Right in the middle. I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. That's what we're here for. There it is right there. Fail on Meta. Meta just came out there. We didn't hold it all the way. Well, we did hold it all the way. Good out for us on Meta there. It's $3 out of in the money, now out for a nice little profit take there on Meta. I hope I don't get Microsoft where it rips up another 70 cents on me right now. What's up, Brendan?
I was sitting here watching this ACAM, AKAM. I agree, by the way. I think the middle is probably good for the two-shot anyways. ACAM, there's some takeover chatter swirling around. I was just sitting here watching this volume candle grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And then it finally took out the highs. So not a huge move, but a ton of volume there on ACAM.
Okay, why? I remember you, AKAM. I actually decided and opted against it. We were sitting right there. It got to 550. Then I looked at the time of the day and didn't make the ad on Bed Bath & Beyond, but it went to 549. So look, that it would have worked out. I'll treat it as like the shares I still have, which is pretty much nothing from the earlier short. I'll treat it as if I had gotten in, which would be if it bounces at 35, I should be getting out. So yeah, you could have had that scalp trade there. I just thought better of it based on the time of day. It's getting pretty close to 350, a little bit tighter than I was anticipating there. So we're just watching out for that Tesha. There's still some time for that to work. It got to 95, not 3. So like, look, if it doesn't break, I've said this a lot of times with these breakouts, if it doesn't break before the close, a lot of times it'll happen after the close. With that theory in mind, it didn't get to $3, but it curled at 95. So if it breaks 95, I'll just get out of it. But I just grabbed some shares at 92s. I'll grab some 93s. It's a little bit tighter risk. But overall, we'll see what happens. It's one of those things you get in. It's like I say what the stop is. It breaks a high, I'm going to get out. But we'll see. Tesha could give you a 3 break after hours. I think that's pretty logical, at least for a time frame. And then when you go consider, just going to go back and show you guys, like that 50 period and previous support was right at $3 on the stock. When it broke 3, like how many down days in a row did it have? So it's a pretty significant price level there. This will be off of 95 as we're about 5 minutes from the imbalances. The early look was a small buy. 350 million. That hasn't really been much of a story. Those buy or sell imbalances the last little bit here.
I did. Alkesh, you keep talking to me about how 15-cent risk only. So I messaged you there in the chat, or everybody. I don't know what you're talking about for that one.
Depends on the stock. I mean,
if there is, yeah, I just need to know what stock. And if you're asking me about it, I don't know. I'm not in anything. I'm in Twitter, but again, like I've gotten, like there's the long right there. We messed with it early, made some profit, nothing really, but then we sort of put our foot in the ground there and said, you know what, we're going to buy some 80s there against that 70 bottom, which was actually just
like
right here. Right there. So that's kind of like what we were thinking. Now, if it comes to 53, I guess we'll just get out. There's only 15 minutes left right now into this close. So let's wait to see what happens. But right there, 53 is a decent level there for Twitter. So I don't know if that's what you guys are talking about here today. Let's go check out Netflix. Again, I see someone in the chat talking about that.
Oh, I'm finally out of this.
This was 300.
The last register ring on CCL there. Look, it bounced off VWAP. It could not break the high of the day. The real trade on CCL was the break at 8:30. Like, this is what you wait for. It was only ever going to be long when it took out that level, but really no secondary push there. So maybe we'll come in tomorrow and it'll break out from 870. I think 830 turns into the support level on this stock, so I'll come right back over to it. And I didn't really look at any of the other names. RCL. We talked about RCL for some levels that were similar. It's taking forever to load up. And I did trade RCL the other day off of the 50 level. That breakout looked like it was just as good. So I suppose it's a distinction without much of a difference. It just happened to be, I liked CCL a little bit better, but RCL did make that break. And you know what? RCL is actually at the high of the day when CCL didn't go there. So if I had gone to this stock today, maybe you had to withstand some dips in there, whereas the clean break on CCL. But a little bit stronger here, at least to close the day on RCL. But you can't hold it forever. Only 4 minutes is 4 minutes till those imbalances. Still need to cover that Bed Bath and beyond.
All right. Yeah, look, good to be some good numbers coming through here today for these earnings. So we're just going to sit here and watch it. We only have a couple more minutes until these imbalances. I'm fine, man. We're positive today. I'm not going to take any more risk right now into the close unless something does pop up here on the imbalance locator. This is reminding me to look at NEO right now. That was from the morning. These are all from the morning, 9:30, 9:30. And I guess Duo maybe halted at 3 o'clock. I don't know.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there's another one.
Did it not open?
Let's see.
Actually,
No, it opened, but it's
it halted
left
down
over. Yeah, I don't know. So there's some, I guess it must not have got filled there, the complete order, but it opened up anyways, DUO. Yeah. So that's why when you see the different times there, that's sort of what that means. We could check out NEO. I mean, we didn't look at NEO or... Wow, man, that sucks. And again, right this morning, I was like, it's going to break 10 and we want to go long. Yeah, that was down here at 9:45. Now you're at 1060. Obviously, the market's taken off as well right now. So, you know, easy to say, hard to do sometimes if you don't really believe in it. But there's NEO with a beautiful move up that 12%. Wow. Good day for you, NEO, as you continue to get to the upside on that move. So good little movement there. Let's see what happens now up at $11 tomorrow. NIO, and then, of course, Alibaba, another one. Nice move early, which I said we were probably going to go for a run. This move down, though, today, right? BABA down, NEO up. So not down, but whatever.
BABA had some sellers in that thing today, man.
Yeah, look at NEO, man, up 12%.
So I'm like BABA, like there was a point where every single one of those Chinese ADRs was like breaking to the top, and BABA was just trending to the downside. I know it caught a bit late, but if I see that happen again, I shouldn't be mad at this because like I ended up getting into a couple of shorts that were okay at the time. But instead of shorting BABA, I was like, oh, I just short like one of the others, like Pinduoduo instead. And I should have just shorted BABA. But Li Auto, this is another name, right back up to its gap down price. Like support 1650, double top at 1650. I mean, I'm writing this one down on my iPad, 1650. Look, if it doesn't break, you can short those levels. If it breaks 1650, you've now made a capitulation bottom and a consolidation break. And this stock is, if you want the ugliest chart from June, remember the lows that the market was making in June? Well, the highs in Li Auto at 40, all the way down to touching 1250. And it was basically a straight shot to the downside once it got under the 200 period moving average. Like, look at it break down from the 200 period. Just short it, and when it took out 20, short it. Now there's a chance that it could try to make a little bit of a jailbreak to the long side. So I'm watching 1560, sorry, I just said 1560. That's a bit of a mistake by me. I mean 1650 on Li Auto. That's this level right here, 16.5. It's good for shorts in front of that level tomorrow, and then look for a breakout as well.
All right, getting ready to wrap this day up, man. I mean, what a good day it's been again for us. That's still NIO. We're still, you know what? Here's Twitter right here. Let's just hold out to see if there is going to be like a market on close and balance buy or something. Let's just put an offer here at 53.10. See if we get one of those coming through for us on Meta, on Twitter with only 30 seconds to go. What's up, Brendan?
GM guys on a mixed shelf offering right now, downside a little bit. There it is, just coming through for an SEC filing. So a little bit of a downtick there for GM.
All right. We'll have a look at that again. GM's not going to have a problem raising equity or anything like that, so we'll see. No problem on that one. All right. Now we're getting close, man. The only thing I'm waiting for would be Twitter. If Twitter comes out a big buy, then maybe we do get a little bit of a spike up and we get lucky enough.
Hey, that's actually not impossible. You can see it bounces for the rest of the week on Twitter.
Yep. So I'm going to sit there in case it does come through. I'm at 53.10. That's going to have to have a lot of action into that market. There it is. Looks like a downside move coming for the futures. But Twitter did come out a buy right there. So Twitter is a buy. Comcast, AMD with a decent sell. Let's see how that's affecting the stock right now. Oops, doesn't seem to be affecting it that much. That's AMD, a nice little downside move. Let's just zoom in a little bit. I'll go back to it for you. That's AMD. Amazon with a sell. That's creating, you can see right here, I'm just going to try to have this up for you. You can see what the stocks are doing. That's a nice little move downside for Amazon. And there's Apple. So yeah, all these names starting to wick down just a little bit right there. So yep, no surprise there. But there goes Twitter. Twitter nicely done to the upside. Yeah, starting to go up to 53. Let's just take advantage of this, man. We'll just get out right now around this 58 level, or 98 level, if we can. And there it is, just rips up right through us. So that concludes... okay, that's pretty cool. That concludes a trade there for us on Twitter. Looks like we might get that 53.10 after all, but there's the out. And again, coded as a sell because I did have that 53.10. But that wraps it up on Twitter and probably me for the day. Good trading there. Let's see what these imbalances do. 865 to sell side. Oh, sorry, buy side. 860 to buy, apparently.
Yeah, and CCL, of course, CCL get out of it, and then it's a buy imbalance. But that Tesha... it did get down to 285 from that 95 top. I had 92s and 93s. Look, with 9 minutes left, maybe it isn't going to flush into 75s, but I'm going to have to take out more shares aggressively, so I'm just on the bid down to 75. I'll probably have to get some out in the 80s. If it breaks the high, I'm constantly adjusting my order, but you know, I think there's going to be, for me at least, every single day there's going to be a trade on Twitter. For now, it is just 52, 70s, and 80s in that range long, up to 53. And the seller at 53, like there's an arb there that's like whatever they happen to think makes sense in terms of the risk analysis on the deal. That's why they're selling that price. That's the only logic I can see there. Bed Bath & Beyond, I did get out of it without showing you guys. So it did pull back off of 550. I was able to get those 35s after all, but a last-minute decision that were a little tight to the end of the day with the market at the tops, and then I didn't get that reload at 550, unfortunately, but that's a pretty big level. High or low you're ending on today. So keep in mind, I was just showing you guys Li Auto. Well, this is what that 550, it's actually 555. In respect there, but this is what it looks like on the daily chart, 15-minute chart for Bed Bath & Beyond. Like a nice consolidation up here. You break out from this top and you've got room to $6, and then from there, room to like 670. So that's a couple of 10% style moves if we take out that high. So yet another name where you've got some interesting long setups on a breakout, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah, AMC was running today. There was a couple of good names. So even Beyond Meat was running a little bit today as well. That's...
You tell me Peloton was up to?
Probably, no,
it probably was. It probably was.
I mean, I guarantee you Peloton was up today. Beyond Meat up 15% today.
All up.
All of them, man. I mean, all these beat down names, right? That's why I was sort of thinking about this. It's like, why even, and look, Meta's had a great day as well, right? But like, if you're trying to hold something, you know, Meta, even Microsoft, Google, all those names, like you're going to get moves up from here, like what, 20% you'll be pretty happy with. If a Meta moved 20%, like in the next 6 months, that'd be great. What about Google? What about all those kind of names? I think you'd be really happy with some of those returns, right? 20% in 6 months would be fantastic. I think that'd be great. But then you look over and you're seeing names like Beyond Meat, you know, names that are the ARC names that turn around. TDOC today, like we talked about. Like, what do you think Roku is up today, right? So there's, I don't even know. I'm just guessing, probably 10-something%. Yeah. So
Bet you Fubo had a good day.
Yeah, Fubo. Yeah, I wouldn't invest in Fubo, but a lot of these names just continue to go. And maybe Fubo's great. I don't know. But you know, what I'm getting at here is that there's a lot of these names where, you know, instead of parking your money in Meta, like if the market's going to go up, guess what? A lot of these names are going to go up a lot more than the Microsofts, Apples, and all that. So I think you got to have two kinds of baskets.
You know another good point?
Yeah.
That I love when you think about that? Small cap names, by and large, tend not to be as multinational, which guess what means, what do they not have the risk of? If they're only selling in North America or in the US, then they might not have as much currency risk as well. So if the
I don't want to play them for earnings though.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that, but like that's another reason why some small cap names might do pretty decently because they might not have that dollar risk like the big caps do. That's why they're great because they sell to the entire world. And of course, Tesla ran the high of the day. Tasha ran the high of the day, stopped me out, and is right back in the money. So another one bites the dust. The longs were better on this stock anyways earlier on off that 260 break. Lots of earnings to still get to. We've already talked about a couple of big names there, Brendo, but it's not just those two.
It's not.
Happens 4 times a year. It's the biggest week of the earnings season, current one. Anyways, that's what's to come for tomorrow, guys.
I meant to check on Spotify today because it had a big move the other day, and I was like, did it get to $100? My daily chart doesn't want to load up here because we were trading Spotify yesterday when it spiked up to 97, and in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, if the market was strong, this could get to 100, and you can play the 100 level. But no, Spot actually got to 99. 100's going to be in play for this thing in tomorrow's trade. I mean, obviously obviously, Alphabet and Microsoft will be front of the mind, but you know, don't sleep on the 50 periods at $100. 101. Spots at 100. It made a capitulation bottom at 80 and is trying to break out from it. Obviously, things can go in either direction, but if we do end up with a good number and up above 100, it's got a lot of room to run because a lot of these beat up names do, like we've been talking about.
So pun intended. You know which name is really taken off? Boeing right here. Boeing has been like, this was a 120 bottom 2 weeks ago. Now you're at 150. So Boeing right now taken off like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 up days with one red day there, and we are missing data, so I don't know. I counted those as up days. I don't know, maybe flat days. But anyways, a nice little move to the upside there for Boeing, bouncing off the 50 period. I didn't even realize that they were also reporting there into today, into tomorrow.
Oh, they're in the morning.
So yeah, they're in the morning tomorrow morning. A name that was reporting today, or reported this morning as well, was General Electric. That name flat on the day today. What did it even do? Nice move to 77. Wow, pull back all the way to 71, and now is climbing a little bit. But that's General Electric.
The GE chart is a perfect example of why when you have earnings in the morning, just don't be like, you got to understand what's going on with the call, and as everyone's digesting the different numbers that are coming out, because that was down a good like $4 or $5, and then it was up another, like from the bottom, like 6 or 7. So you could have got absolutely destroyed by diddling in the middle on something like a GE, and that's why I prefer earnings aftermarket. But yeah, got to add Boeing to that list. I need to get back that animation I had with the plane taking off, but we got a few that I want to add back.
Yeah, we did actually pretty good there. We'll hit the alarm there because we did good on our out here. For Meta, we got out at 137.70. It's now at 137.20, so a good out there for Meta as it's pulling back a little bit, up 6%. I would, like I said, man, ahead of Meta earnings this week, you know, that's a good move upside for Meta. So I'm pretty nervous about that. I should probably, we'll see what happens tomorrow, and then I'll think about trimming it into the close for tomorrow.
You trim Meta despite the Fed pivot?
The Fed pivot? Is the Fed pivoting? I don't know. People are saying Fed pivoting.
I forgot all day to be saying Fed pivot every time a stock went up. Like I was all morning. I didn't say Fed pivot one time. That's just a shout out to Trader Prad because
is that what it's from? As people confirmed
Is it not? Okay, no, you guys tell me. I thought it was something that Prad said in the midday show, but if it's not his line,
think it was.
You guys let us know. I just think it's not a bad rallying cry. There's nothing wrong with having a rallying cry in an upward market. It's just a heck of a lot of fun. You can say bounce it, you can say run it, you can say go, you can say bang, whatever.
You can say Fed pivot.
You can say Fed pivot. I like it. The Fed's not pivoting, by the way. We're having fun saying that. Like they're not actually pivoting. before anyone gets any ideas.
I got to give a shout out to Tony because I asked him to wear the Coke shirt today, and he did. And Coke has been a really good trade for me here today. So, including getting out of our last little piece right there at 59 bucks. Now it's at 58.90 off of a 57.90. So a $1 win there on Coca-Cola today. So shout out to Tony and the crew there. Good trade for me on Coca-Cola. As we get ready, man, I can't believe how exhausted I am right now coming through. And I got that event tonight, so that should be a lot of fun though. Bringing the kids, so that'll be always fun when they get to see athletes and things like that. And we'll see Scotty Barnes. I already told him that he's 6'9". And 21 years old. So now they have something to
He's a real 6'9" too.
Aspire to. Yeah. So we'll see there tomorrow. But we were watching him last night, and of course he was in street clothes. So they didn't get to see him play, but that's for another day. We're really excited. With only 30 seconds left now, man, tomorrow's going to be a fun day. Looking forward to it a lot.
Baby. Yeah, look, this is what you look for. It's what you live for. We've had some good earnings so far, but when you start getting the big boys in there, that's when it's exciting. You guys saw Tesla when it was out there. But Tony's on the bell. You can see the shirt that he's got on today. It is Get It Off Me, Get It On. Ooh, I love that shot. Lowering the bell, and Tony in 5, 4, 3, 2, and...
All right, so we are now closed, and we will wait to see now where these earnings are going to come from. Microsoft out any minute, so we'll stay here for as long as we can. If we ever see something come across, we'll let you know ASAP. But with that being said, let's go over to Brendan quickly to see how the market fared today.
Yeah, it looks like at least Alphabet, guys, going to be 405. So here we go. Here's how the market ends the day, 1.5. Actually, we're getting a few coming across right now. I can hear in my ears. So Microsoft, guys, just out. That's how the market's closed.
Yeah, Microsoft is huge, up to 252 it just went there. I have no idea what the numbers are. If Brendan does get them, we'll have them for you. But there it is, Microsoft, a nice little rally to the upside right now. So Microsoft earnings look to be out. Nice move, man. We traded this well today. Not early, but late. There's the move up to 250, 250.
Top and bottom.
Then there's the move to the downside. So a wild move right here. Now to 248, 247. Now we're going to the downside on Microsoft. So here it is, down to 246 and change. Microsoft, I don't know the numbers, but this is the reaction. Down to 245, still making moves. 244, Microsoft getting cracked right now. Nice downside move, 242. Still going, Microsoft down, down, down. We'll get those numbers for you when we can. Also, Google going to the downside as well right now. Whether or not this is earnings or not, nice move to Google down to $100. But the story is going to be Microsoft right now. Just reported earnings, EPS of 235. We're down to 244 right now on Microsoft. Brendo?
Yeah, 235, guys. That's down 13%. So it seems to be that they're stuck on right now. So 235 per share, down 13%. Revenue 25.7 billion, up 24%. However, for Microsoft.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen any Alphabet numbers here, but it's just going all the way down to 100. Now, keep in mind, that could actually just be fat fingers and sympathy on Google, but it looks like it's out. I haven't seen numbers yet on Alphabet, but Microsoft getting hit a little bit. Bit of a bounce on Google, back into 102 on those numbers. If we get them in a quick second, Brennan, because Google missed on EPS, no word on revenue just yet. So 0 for 2, although Google is right back at that even as they digest some of these numbers. You knew it was going to be fireworks. You know it's going to be fireworks tomorrow as both these come in a little bit late.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Google is dancing around a little bit. It did just go, wow. I mean, this looks pretty dramatic from a candle side of things there. Down to 99.60 right there. And now right back to 101 and change. So, yeah, the market's starting to turn around a little bit here. This is why you don't want to trade earnings, man. Yeah. Like, there's absolutely, you're just throwing out your shares and hoping and praying that you catch the right way. There it is, a nice little 5% move down. Remember, we were up 3% or so on Google, and now you're down the other way. So 105 was the high, down to 99. That's an easy 5% haircut there for Google. And Microsoft, not much of a haircut for Microsoft. It was up to 250 where it closed. Now you're down to 246. So you're like 2 or 3% down on Softy right now in the after hours, and it looks to be a little little more dramatic for Google, but these will all turn around. Like this could either be a lot worse.
Well, yeah,
or
we
got
to see like the nitty gritty. Like what?
Yeah.
Like I want to see what the actual numbers are with cloud, with Microsoft, and where they were in advertising with Google. I can't imagine they were that good. But yeah, I mean, Microsoft, I'd say holding up a little bit better, but it's now starting to turn back in, and the future is obviously giving a little bit back on that. So thank you, Brendan, for getting us those numbers. Wild action, you know it's going to be sick tomorrow.
Yep, for sure, man. It's going to be a great opportunity to trade tomorrow. So make sure you join us. Thank you to everybody today. Lucas, Fahad, Prad, Luca was the other one there today. Thanks to Katrine, Justin, Liz, everybody. Wow, this is going to be real fun. So Tony as well for ringing the bell. Thanks to Brendan, Neil. I'm Sean. It's going to be crazy. So sleep well, and we'll be trading these names tomorrow. From everybody here at Trader TV Live, we'll catch you at 8:30. Ciao.